off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leafilter.com/radio for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
This is a Fox News alert. There's been a mass shooting at an Army base in Georgia. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. 5 soldiers are shot and wounded at Fort Stewart. We're told the shooter is now in custody and a lockdown is lifted. No word on the severity of those injuries, the identity of the suspected shooter, or any possible motive. The lockdown included the base's 3 elementary schools and 3 local schools near the base. A Chicago hotel where 2 Texas State House Democrats are staying was evacuated due to a bomb threat. They're among dozens out of
Texas House of Representatives Speaker Dustin Burrows says they almost had enough Democrats show up for the special legislative session to have a quorum for a vote on a new congressional district map that would see Republicans win 5 more seats in Congress.
I believe we will make quorum, we will address those, and it needs to happen sooner than later.
And the threat of Texas law hangs over the missing Democrats. Governor Greg Abbott is already going to the state Supreme Court to see about removing Democratic leader Representative Gene Wu from office for his failure to show. Eben Brown, Fox News.
President Trump announced an additional 25% tariff to be added to imports from India for buying Russian oil, bringing those tariffs to 50%.
We are just 2 days away from President Donald Trump's new deadline for Russia to either stop the fighting or face new sanctions. And Steve Witkoff arrived in Moscow today for last-ditch efforts to try to reach some kind of agreement.
Fox's Alex Hogan. Another senator announces plans to run for office back home instead of staying in D.C.
I'm Marcia Blackburn. Here in the volunteer state, we always lead the way. And that's why I am announcing my candidacy for governor.
Democrat Michael Bennet is running for governor in his home state, Colorado. On Wall Street, the Dow is up 112 points midday. America's listening to Fox News.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Making the turn to a little bit more summer in our atmosphere, though certainly nothing extreme. Sunny skies. We'll call it warm to hot, just barely. A little more humid, but also just barely. 80s to near 90. 71 for the overnight low. Then on Thursday, sunny, hot, and humid 92. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, sunny, hot, and humid 93 each day. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The Annie Fry Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Don't melt in the heat. If your AC unit isn't working, Air Comfort Service can get you back in the comfort zone fast. With an AC service call for only $99. To get your AC serviced, visit aircomfortservice.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
Right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Welcome to the Annie Fry Show. Thank you for tuning in to 97.1 FM Talk. We're glad you're here. Situation out of Georgia, and we'll update you throughout the course of the show based on information that is provided. There's a shooting at a base, a military base, and the report right now is that 5 soldiers have been shot. They've been saying 5 casualties for a long time. This frustrates me. Casualty does not imply death.
I don't know that I knew that.
Oh, for a fact, it does not.
Huh.
You could be injured. Do you know that a mass casualty is defined by more people needing treatment than the initial wave of emergency response people can handle?
No, I didn't know that.
I just learned that in the last situation, whatever it might have been that came up. But when you're watching a report and it says 5 casualties, that might be 5 people who got shot are going to get bandaged up and go home and sleep in their bed that night.
Huh.
Or could have been running away from the violence, tripped and fell and broke their hip or something like that. The thing about the casualty word, now, just to get back to the actual important news of the situation, there are 5 people who have shot. There's a shooter in custody. The last, before we came on here, that I had heard, they released some of the lockdown of the surrounding areas, but they were still considering the possibility of a second person involved. Now, if you're talking about some type of event like this at a military base, 2 main things come to mind. One is that somebody at the base snapped, and they have training and access to cause something like this to happen right away. And the second thing is terror. And we have no idea at this time. So there's no point in us rambling on for a long amount of time here about what it could be. In these instances, you're not tuning into 97.1 for play-by-play pontification of what this might be. You will have the facts as soon as they are released here. We will make sure that we're coming in and out of segments all the time. When news is released, we will bring it to you. But we're not, generally speaking, in my opinion, conversations about this only immediately divert into political talking points on gun control and mental health. And those are important things that should be talked about yesterday and tomorrow. But using an instance like this while people are still waiting to find out what actually took place and what happened to their loved ones, not my moment to talk about political points.
Even, even those conversations can be the same broken record.
Correct.
So.
And they don't go anywhere.
They don't.
So going back to, like I said, 5 people have been soldiers have been reported to be shot at this Georgia base, and the shooter is in custody. We will continue to update you as facts are released. You will have those facts here. The word casualty, like you said, you should, you're somebody who should know that.
I should know that.
But most people don't. If you hear 5 casualties, I think more than 50% of people are thinking 5 people dead.
I did until 2 minutes ago.
That is not the definition of it. And the thing of it that frustrates me is, like, I've been listening to Fox News all morning and listening to them. I listen more than I watch the channel, so I'm not just sitting there watching the TV. It's on and I'm around it. But every time they say casualties have been reported, they then have to spend 10 to 15 seconds explaining that casualties doesn't immediately mean death. It doesn't mean not death. Can't we just say injuries?
I was going to say, why don't we just use a different word?
Yeah. I would understand in medical speak that those words mean something. You understand it if you're communicating on a radio and but I don't know. I'm thinking to myself, for the folks who are listening at home, when people say in reporting casualties, it does not imply death. It can include death. You could have 5 casualties, 2 people dead and 3 people injured. Just be cognizant of that. And also to the reporters who are all listening to the show right now, just say injuries, unknown injuries. I don't know.
I am with you.
Clarity.
Because clearly this is something I should know. And I didn't even know that. I still would hear casualties and think that there were deaths.
Libby says because casualty sounds more riveting and people stay tuned.
It does.
Even more reason to not use it.
It's true, though. But injuries is more accurate. At least amongst the population.
But I mean, it's not like everybody's aware that maybe somebody's in critical condition and probably not going to make it, and you don't want to underplay it with injuries. To me, it's like death is death and everything else isn't death. So we shouldn't be implying something. I don't know. That's just how I feel. That's how I feel about it.
Well, in a shooting, too, you could say the number of people who'd been shot by the gunman.
5 shot, condition unknown.
Yes. Now, that may not apply to every situation.
When you're reporting on it, you don't always know what you get the information that the authorities pass on to you. So if you're reporting on it, the authorities might be using the phrase casualties.
They probably
Which
are.
is why I'm saying, as reporters, what I just said there was medical speak, emergency response speak. You guys have your lingo. Totally respect that. I'm not asking anybody over there to change anything because of, I don't know, I guess it really melts down to my feelings. I don't like to come onto the show and be like 5 casualties in a shooting at a Georgia military base, and knowing that at least half of you folks and half of the other people in this room think that means 5 dead. When reporting something like this, I think that specificity is the most important thing, and to not report anything that isn't factually accurate at the time.
Yeah, especially with breaking news, because it is just fact sharing. You're just saying, this is what's happening, this is what's happened. Your only job, I mean, we do a lot of different things here. A lot of what we do is talking about bigger opinions and sharing our own experiences of things and so on and so forth. But when we're doing reporting, when any reporter is doing reporting, you just want to share the facts as clearly and easily as possible.
That's it.
That's it.
And that's, I can't take these stories and sensationalize them. Because here's what I can do. I could sit here for the entire 3 hours and give you play-by-play of what's happening here, but I'm going to have to be sourcing other people's reports along the way and real close to the event. They could be wrong. And they could be innocently wrong. You know, if they were reported something as so much down the chain, you guys are all, if you're interested in this, you're on your X feeds, you're paying attention. If you've got a loved one who's there, of course you're plugged in. I really believe that you need, when you come here, we're going to do our show. We're going to give you the breaking news as it happens, but it's going to be, for something like this, it's going to be straight reporting. We are going to speak with Congressman Darin LaHood coming up here in about 8 minutes. And it just baffles me that Stephen Colbert lost his job. I mean, this guy is doing a service to the nation.
I'm a huge
like I
Colbert
said
fan.
just like 2 minutes ago, we just report facts here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a liar. Is anybody wanting J.B. Pritzker on Colbert?
Well, when I thought, who should Colbert have on now that he knows he's going to lose his job? I thought, what about...
Who should he have on now that it doesn't matter?
What about... You win. I was going to go somewhere, but that was way better.
Districts in Illinois. Take a look at this. Look at 17 here. It does that. Then it comes up here and it sneaks around there and goes all the way up here and then goes right over there like that. And look at this one, kind of goes whoop up there. It's like the stinger on a scorpion.
Okay, that's my district on Colbert with J.B. Pritzker sitting right next to him.
Me too.
Slow clap for Stephen Colbert for saying, hey, bro, like, you know all those Texas Democrats who are coming to your district? Look at this one. Look at Annie Frey's district. She keeps complaining about this left and right. Look at what you've done to her. His index finger crushed right over the top of my home. And you know how I know? Because he touched the 13th district, and that district is not bigger than an index finger. It just goes like this.
I was going to say, the problem is when he was tracing the district, he couldn't keep his finger in it.
Yeah, exactly.
Down here. Is this common for all states to do?
Well, we handed it over to a kindergarten class and let them decide.
Okay.
Okay, joke.
And that's the nonpartisan group that does this
Absolutely.
for you guys?
That's our independent commission, you know.
It's a joke to him.
Joke time, okay.
He's on Colbert. Colbert is essentially saying, you're the biggest hypocrite in the nation right now. And he's like, I got a joke for that. And so then the audience laughs.
It was prepared.
That is, yeah. I mean, look. Because
I love it when they start responding and they don't ever complete sentences, but they do take up time. That is, look.
All states, to a certain extent, do this. Why is what Texas doing particularly egregious in this case?
Well, here, every 10 years we do a census in this country, and right after the census, we redraw districts in every state. But what the Republicans are trying to do, and the Texas Republicans, frankly, at the behest of Donald Trump, are doing it mid-decade. That is extraordinarily rare.
That's an important point, because I think he literally called them or wrote them and said, hey, I need 5 seats.
So here you have Governor J.B. Pritzker, the man who's saying his response to why can Illinois do this and Texas can't? Because Texas isn't doing it on the schedule? That's his point. It's not the what that he's doing, it's the timing of it. That's how he defends what's taking place in Illinois. And I just would like to say, Governor Pritzker, that while you're talking about everybody else does this every 10 years, that's how everybody else does it. I would like you to answer to all of the people of the state of Illinois who are under an emergency lockdown order for way longer than anybody else. Way longer than anybody else was. Regarding COVID, you took our livelihoods away from us. You took a huge amount of money from the federal government. You covered up an imbalanced budget and tried to sell it to the people of Illinois like you had some sort of magic wand to make everything go away. And it was more of the people's federal taxpayer dollars to try to cover up the sins of your mismanaged government. And now you're telling us that the only reason Texas is doing this wrong is because they're doing it at the wrong time. Applause to Stephen Colbert for asking him the question, even though that gave J.B. Pritzker an opportunity to answer a tough question in an incredibly safe environment. Congressman Darin LaHood is going to be with us in just a minute. He represents Illinois' 16th district, and yes, that man is a Republican, and a good one. One of the 3 Republicans in the state of Illinois who have been able to withstand J.B. Pritzker's gerrymandering, but applause to J.B. Pritzker, he gerrymanders on schedule. That's why he's okay, so he says on Colbert. Congressman LaHood next. Don't go away. Michael's Flooring Outlet is online at igotfloor.com, and value and quality are married together at Michael's Flooring Outlet. They've got 3 locations across the St. Louis area. So if you're looking to shop there, if you're in the bi-state region, Michael's Flooring Outlet will come out to you, and they can give you an estimate. You can request an in-home estimate. Talk about accuracy. And if you don't want to take my word for it, go to igotfloor.com and read the reviews. They're very proud of them. The Google reviews are embedded right there into their website, so you can take it from the words of thousands of people in the area who have gone to Michael's Flooring Outlet, picked out their beautiful Mohawk Smart Strand carpet line and the perfect pad to make everything feel luxurious and brand new and fresh. And who doesn't love the new smell of fresh carpet in a home? I love it. It makes it nice, warm, and cozy. And the very best of the business, Michael's Flooring Outlet, a family-owned and operated business doing it the old-fashioned American way. Be proud to give your business to Michael's, and we thank them for partnering with us here. You can find them online right now at igotfloor.com.
Mark Cox here. Let me introduce you to my friends at the Lit Cigar Lounge in St. Louis, where luxury meets comfort. Premium hand-rolled cigars, an extensive selection of rare bourbons and whiskeys and craft cocktails. It's comfortable for non-smokers, too. They have a state-of-the-art ventilation system. They have private lockers and live music every Friday night, perfect for date nights or business meetings or just winding down. Visit litstl.com.
Rooted in faith, grounded in family. This is the Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. We were just listening to J.B. Pritzker. So you've got the Texas Democrats fleeing to the state of Illinois to find refuge in the sanctuary state for dumb Democrats. Those are my words. And then you've got J.B. Pritzker fleeing to, is Colbert in New York? Or is he in L.A.?
I think he's New York.
Does it even matter?
No way, he is.
He's in New York. I was thinking he was in New York. He's going there, and he's making his case to the people. on the Colbert Show about why Illinois' gerrymandering is different. He says they did it within the census schedule, and that makes it a little bit different. Let's talk to our friend Congressman Darin LaHood, representing Illinois' 16th District, also a member of the Ways and Means Committee, the House Intel Committee, and the Select Committee on the CCP. Congressman, thanks for being with us today. Good to have you back.
Annie, great to be with you. Always fun to be with your listeners.
We appreciate you very much so. I said this earlier in the week. Illinois is having a banner week in the national news right now, and the gross hypocrisy of the Illinois Democrat Party is on full display, but I don't think the Illinois Democrats even realize it.
Well, you're 100% right, Annie. This is pure hypocrisy. And how rich is it that J.B. Pritzker is inviting Texas lawbreakers to come to Illinois when we have literally the worst gerrymandered state in the entire country. Now, that's not just me saying it or politicians. Princeton University, Yale University has looked at all this redistricting. Illinois is the worst gerrymandering in the country. And think about it. In the presidential election, Donald Trump got 45% of the vote. Didn't win Illinois, but it should proportionally reflect in our congressional districts. So we should have 7 or 8 Republican members, but we don't, because J.B. Pritzker passed a blatantly partisan gerrymandered map and made it 14-3. So this is absolutely ridiculous. It's a poster child for what's wrong with redistricting, and he needs to be called out on it. And to your point, even Colbert made him look at the map and try to justify that.
Yeah, I saw that and I'm like, okay, I see what you're doing here. But I know as an interviewer, Congressman, you and I probably agree on pretty much everything policy-wise. But if something was being lobbed at you and you were having to fight off attacks, when I ask you a tough question, you get the opportunity to answer that question and speak to the criticism that is out there. In my opinion, as an interviewer, that's what I observed on Colbert, because J.B. Pritzker felt he could address that issue in a comfortable way in front of a comfortable audience. I mean, I'll ask you this question as somebody who has survived gerrymandering in the state of Illinois. Is what Texas is doing and trying to do, is this turnabout's fair play in Texas? Or if it's wrong in Illinois, it should be wrong in Texas?
Well, we need to be consistent. I don't want to get into a case where it's a race to the bottom. I've been a supporter of the Fair Map Commission in Illinois, but when you have J.B. Pritzker doing what he's doing, I mean, I think all things need to be on the table then if they're going to draw gerrymandered maps, because let's not forget, Annie, what did the Democrats do in Illinois? It's politicians picking their voters instead of voters picking the politicians. And it's gerrymandering is bad across the board. I know Republicans do that in some states, but if they're going to continue to do what they did in Illinois, why shouldn't Texas or other states that, by the way, remember, Texas has gained 2.5 million people over the last 5 or 6 years, so they have a justifiable reason to do redistricting because they've added a lot of population. I would note that a lot of those are from Illinois, people fleeing J.B. Pritzker to go to places like Texas and Florida. So I think it's fair game when you see what Illinois and California and others have done.
We're speaking with Congressman Darin LaHood. You represent Illinois' 16th District. I did see on X that you have announced that you are running once again for that seat that you currently hold. Some people had discussed your possibility of your name in a governor race. It seems as though you want to return to Congress, and I wish you very well in that. I'm wondering if you think that right now, you mentioned Illinois is 40% red. And there's nobody in the country, especially the people who don't pay attention to flyover country in the news. There's nobody in the country who really realizes that 45% of voters in the state of Illinois will choose to vote red. Is there any possibility in 2026 that we see a more representative result of the election that would match the constituency of the state?
Well, absolutely. I'm convinced that we can turn Illinois red. We've been a purple state in the past. But listen, J.B. Pritzker he's putting his own political ambitions. He thinks he can be president, which is absolutely delusional. And running for a third term is going to come with lots of pitfalls. And we've seen that across the country where people thought they could run for third terms. Go back to Mario Cuomo in New York, thought he would run for a third term and got beat by George Pataki. Now, I know that was a while ago. That's a Democrat state. we're going to have a good candidate or multiple candidates running in Illinois on the Republican side. The vast majority of Illinoisans don't believe in higher taxes. Right now, Annie, we lead the country, Illinois does, in out-migration of people leaving. That's what we lead in. We have the second highest combined state and federal taxes in Illinois. We continue to lose companies and businesses because of the policies in Illinois, high property taxes. We have the fourth largest amount of illegal immigrants, 500,000, and we're not a border state. So for all these reasons and many others, I think we're going to have change in Illinois, and I look forward to helping to bring that change and boot J.B. Pritzker.
Oh, I 100% hope that we're able to pull that out. Speaking with Congressman Darin LaHood. Congressman, so I'm hearing the president talk about fair votes. Of course he wants election integrity. Nobody's talking about it more from a consequential standpoint, but also in a future standpoint. How do we secure our elections? Is there anything that Congress can do or that the president can do to ensure that we get one person, one vote, that maybe the gerrymandering in states like Illinois and Texas, if they decide to take it beyond the point of representative of the constituency, they take it to the gerrymandering spot as well. But then also the people who are being counted in these states that aren't actually citizens, I think that's something that needs to be looked at as well.
100% on that, Annie. Let me just tell you, the what you have to do, and I think this will be one of our legislative agenda items for the fall when we get back in the Congress, is our election integrity bill. So what would this do? It, first of all, requires a national ID to vote at the federal level. We need that. Some states have gone that direction. We clearly need that in Illinois. Secondarily, it doesn't allow same-day registration where you can go to these college campuses and, get people to register that day and vote without checking whether they're registered in other places. Third, it requires that you have to vote where your license says you live. So, again, if you're on a college campus at Southern Illinois or University of Illinois or another campus, you have to vote where your license says you vote, which is usually at home in suburban Chicago or suburban St. Louis or wherever that is. And then it's cleaning up the voter rolls, and it gets to your point about illegals being on the voter roll. So it goes into places like Cook County and has a thorough federal audit by the Department of Justice where we clean up those rolls. We make sure that citizens are voting. And we double check all of that information. That's what, in my view, will have the biggest impact. I have full confidence, Annie, that we can pass that in the House. The Senate may be a little bit more difficult because they have the filibuster over there, but I have a lot of confidence we're going to get passed in the House. Mike Johnson has put this as a priority. This will help us, I think, give us the greatest amount of help for the 26th election.
So, Congressman LaHood, is it possible, I've heard Ron DeSantis talk about this out of Florida, is it possible that we could have a midstream census taking in the next year or two to reconfigure the responsibility that each of these states and that the federal government has towards the people where they can meet the needs of the citizens of this country? Is that even a realistic idea?
Well, I think it's remote at this point. It hasn't been done. It's really unprecedented. Now, it's going to cost money to do that because it costs money to do the census. You got to do it the right way. It takes time to do that. You got to get ramped up to do that. And it's so that we haven't done that in the past. I think it would be whether we want to expend the resources to do that at the federal level. And I think there would have to be some justifiable reason. Now, if these states start like, Illinois, Pritzker's talking about redrawing. If we go down this path where everyone's redrawing the districts, I think clearly that could be a reason for doing it. But that has not yet got any traction at the federal level. I think we'll wait and see what happens in Texas first.
All right. Well, we want to appreciate you and tell you how grateful we are for your time today. We know that recess has been established for Congress. Of course, in the Senate, there's some frustration there because of that. What does it look like for you, Congressman LaHood, when you get back to your district in August and you listen to the constituents of your district? What kind of things do you hear?
Well, I've been traveling around my district for the last 2 weeks here. And talking to a lot of farmers in my district, we're going to have a record crop, corn and soybeans. We need to pass a farm bill, so we're working. I've been hearing a lot on our farm bill and getting that done. That has to get done by beginning of September when we get back. Our ag communities are commodity prices are not where they're at. Some of that has to do with tariffs and taxes. So I've been talking a lot about that. I will say this, Annie. People are thrilled on what we've done on the southern border. President Trump got elected, I think, on two issues: fixing the unmitigated disaster at our southern border and turning around the economy. Illegal crossings are down 96%. We've codified Remain in Mexico. We've gotten rid of catch and release. We are changing the trajectory of illegal immigration in this country for the better. We're sending criminals back to their country of origin. So I've heard a lot from my constituents on how proud and happy they are with that. I will also say this, Annie. We're at a record enrollment of people that want to go into the military, whether it's the Army, the Navy, the Air Force. We've beat expectations. What better sign that we're turning around the country, that young men and women want to go into the military because they believe in our country again. So those are a few things I'm hearing back on. Obviously, the economy still has to turn around. The one big, beautiful bill is going to help, but we need to get that implemented, which we will over the next 6 months to a year, and hopefully in a year from right now, as we're heading into 26, inflation will be down, interest rates will be down, energy prices will be down, and we'll put the country back on the path that we need to be to live the American dream and fulfill the campaign promises that got us elected and put us in office.
Keep fighting, Congressman LaHood. We know that you are representing Illinois and the Republicans very well in the in Congress, and we look forward to having you back, and we look forward to watching your campaign. Make sure you secure the 16th once again.
Thank you, Annie. Have a great day.
You too. You too. Thanks so much. Congressman Darin LaHood. I really like the idea of redoing the census, but I know that it's an albatross to go through and do something like that.
It's going to take Trump. It's going to take him getting behind that effort.
Throw some of that tariff dollars at it. You want to talk about investing in the future of America?
Yeah.
Recount.
Well, he said at the beginning of that interview there, Texas has gained 2.5 million people since the last census, which was just a couple years ago. So there has been an incredible amount of migration, partially because of COVID, partially because of politics, and partially just because of the way people move. But this would be a justified time to do it.
Yeah, I completely agree. All right, we want to know from you in the Annie Fry YouTube live chat poll for today. Which scandal are you most interested in getting the full story? No, there's not in all of the above, so don't ask for it. You have to pick one, and then you can comment to your heart's content why it was a difficult choice and why you might have picked the other ones. But we have all A-list headline stories, scandals that have been in existence that we've been talking about for a long time. They're all kind of coming to a head in public right now, and this Trump administration, they are on it. Which one do you want the most? I know you want them all, but which one do you most want the full story? Russiagate, Epstein, Autopen, or COVID? Go to youtube.com/@AnnieFry and vote in the live broadcast. We'll be back in a minute. HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com. Please consider hiring Matt Hayes to level out the concrete in your driveway that you drive over. It's getting worse. It's a problem. It's a hazard as well. Have you stubbed your toe on it? People out there who know exactly what I'm talking about. There's that one spot. You know to step over it, but it's a pain. When the winter weather comes in and sets in, it gets worse. If it's a really rainy season, it gets worse. It's not going to get better on its own, and you know that. So handle the problem now with Home Shield Foundation Repair in the cost-effective way to level out your concrete in your driveway, in your garage, the walkways that you have at your home that are your responsibility. Reach out to Home Shield Foundation Repair and Matt Hayes. He'll come out to your home, and he'll check out the situation and then tell you, this is what I can do. There's no obligation or commitment until you're like, yeah, I'd like you to do that for me. Thank you for coming here. He's great. His crew is amazing. And they're a phone call away at 314-227-9636. 314-227-9636. Hit him up online at HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
Attention St. Louis Medicaid residents in need of care at home. If you need assistance with daily activities, you can receive in-home care from a loved one that lives with you and they get paid. Through Medicaid, Freedom Care allows you to choose who provides your care at home in St. Louis, and they get paid weekly. Available to eligible Medicaid members in St. Louis. Call now to check your eligibility. It can be your daughter, son, a close relative, or trusted friend helping you with cooking, transportation, laundry, and other activities in your own home. You get the help you need, and your caregiver gets paid. Freedom Care has over 7,000 five-star Google reviews and is a leading choice in St. Louis for in-home care. If you have Medicaid and want to receive great care from a loved one, go to freedomcare.com, or for faster service, call 314-597-1749. 314-597-1749. That's 314-597-1749.
Freedom Care, we're here for you.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw with Retirement Advisory Group. Are you worried about market volatility? Are you concerned your money won't last you through retirement?
Hi, I'm Tammy Kershaw, and as a family-owned business, we are committed to protecting your retirement, whether you're nearing retirement or already retired. We have a lot of folks that aren't aware of all the new investment choices that are available, which give you growth and protection from losses at the same time. Are you aware of all the fees that you are currently paying? We can show you how to avoid those fees. So come in now for your free retirement review and get a second opinion on your retirement plan. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. Let us show you how to retire with confidence.
We are proud to say we haven't lost a penny of our clients' money in 39 years, and we won't lose a penny of yours either. Let our family help your family. Call us now at 314-993-9494 or go online to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. We recently received a call from an injured person. The insurance company had offered them $11,000. We took the case over and got more than $2 million in court. Morgan & Morgan.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Eggland's Best. The only eggs with more fresh and delicious taste, plus superior nutrition. Available in so many delicious varieties. Classic, cage-free, organic, free-range, and pasture-raised. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Today's big question, the YouTube live chat poll, is which scandal are you most interested in getting the full story? Russiagate, Epstein, Autopen, or COVID? Let us know. We will give you the results at the end of the show. We'll also be talking about it probably between now and then. 12:36. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Built on backbone, not buzzwords. 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
Love is a burning thing, and it makes a fiery ring. Bound by wild desire, I fell into a ring of fire. I fell into a burning ring of fire. I went down, 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 and the flames went higher. And it burns, burns, burn, the ring of fire, the ring of fire.
Is this a tough poll question for you?
Yeah, it is, because there's a lot to each one of these.
Which scandal are you most interested in getting the full story? Are there any of these Russiagate? The Epstein files? It's not even the Epstein files. It really is just Epstein.
It's everything encompassing Epstein.
I don't want to narrow down. I don't want them to be like, here's the files we have. And then I'm like, okay.
Yeah, because there's so many victims still out there that would speak and that aren't really in the files.
Epstein, Autopen, which in my mind, Autopen encompasses the entire Joe Biden presidency. All the details there as well. And then the last one is COVID. COVID to me is like the dark horse that's going to sneak in at the end of this. We got to establish maybe the type of bastardized control that some of these people in our bureaucracy had, including the Faucis of the world. Autopen connects to Fauci, connects to COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So Are there any of these that sticks out to you that you're like, I don't think we're ever going to find out the full details on this, and it doesn't really bother me?
No.
Same.
I want to know everything about all of it.
Let's just, for the sake of conversation here, say that we are all D. A, B, C, D, E. All of the above.
All of the above. I'm actually going to cross off Russiagate because I think we will know all about that. This isn't one where I have to throw a lure in the water and hope. This one is happening.
And I bet that the right people right now do know the full story of Russiagate, and the only thing holding them back right now is they need to be able to unequivocally prove it. Because you can know things without having evidence that would stand up in court.
Mm-hmm. That's what they're doing now. I mean, we've known things about this for a long time. They are now creating the actual paper trail, not from themselves, but from the Obama administration itself, and saying, look, here's what you did. We can prove it. That's been part of their media strategy, is to let these things go every couple days. And it's working. COVID, to me, is a dark horse in this poll, though, because there's still, it's such a huge global event that you're going, was all of that necessary? Of course it was not necessary. But was there a conspiracy to make it that big? I don't know the answer to that. I don't know if they said, yeah, let's make this and release it. Therefore, I crossed that one off my list because the actual answer to it could be, this was all a big, bumbling, stupid mistake that the media really ran with.
When I'm thinking about, like, you talked about throwing a lure in the water and, like, trying to fish things out, would you rather imagine that what do you call somebody who fishes for lobsters? There's got to be, like, some really weird word for that.
Yeah, it's a lobson tour.
You make it French. A what? A lobson tour?
Yeah, it's a lobson tour. That's definitely real.
You literally have a lobster on your hat right now.
Do I?
Lobsterman.
Huh?
They're called a lobsterman or lobster woman.
Yeah, it's a good band too. The Lobstermen. 1960s.
If you were to have a great day fishing, and you were to get the best lobster haul that you've ever gotten, if you're one of those people, a lobsterman or lobstin tour.
Lobstin tour.
You've heard of the blue lobsters?
No.
Yeah.
You never heard of a blue lobster?
No.
It's like a needle in a haystack. They're blue.
Oh, you find okay.
It's not a euphemism,
it's
brother.
It's a rare lobster.
Ryan thought it was a club from Police Academy.
I did. I thought this was like
the blue lobster
like a Navy
club.
SEALs secret ops.
Aren't they worth a lot of money? If you catch
Blue
a blue
lobsters?
lobster?
Now you're past my pay grade because I didn't even know what you were talking about.
I almost called you son. We are way past your pay grade. we made that clearly evident when you said lobstin tour.
You haven't disproved that yet.
You're wearing a lobster on your hat, and
Yeah.
you made up a word.
My wife went to Prince Edward Island recently, so she brought me this hat. I
And
didn't go.
you
I didn't
went
go.
to Six Flags.
I did.
So my blue lobster in all of this, like I want all the fish. I want the big ones. Lobsters probably aren't fish. I don't know.
They're crustaceans.
Sure, same thing, though, right?
I have no idea.
We can't both be really dumb in the same category. I've got this one in spades. Adam Schiff is my blue lobster. I want him. This isn't going to happen, but just for my sinful personal satisfaction, I want to see him in jail for the dumbest possible crime they can commit him on.
Okay.
He chafes my soul. I can't stand Adam Schiff. And the irony of this, within the last 24 hours, Fox News reports that he's under criminal investigation officially for mortgage fraud, which is so petty. But this is turnabout is fair play. Like, if he actually did the crime, you better do the time, because you know that the Adam Schiffs of the world will remind you no one is above the law. Fox News host Laura Ingraham broke the news on Tuesday night, last night, on the Ingraham Angle, saying the source said a criminal investigation is being conducted by the U.S. Attorney's Office in Maryland on possible charges involving mortgage fraud. The investigation comes a month after a story broke about the Federal Housing Finance Agency sending a criminal referral to the DOJ alleging that Schiff, in multiple instances, falsified bank documents and property records to acquire more favorable loan terms. His signature is on these documents. This is the same bologna sausage that they pinned on Donald Trump in New York. And if anybody was going to get the full force of Schadenfreude in this regard, Adam Schiff. Blue Lobster, go get him. Put him in a tank for everybody to see.
Yeah, what's he going to say? What's he going to say? Oh, this is petty. We shouldn't go after these stupid things. After he's on record talking about the same thing with Donald Trump.
Which is what he's been doing the whole time.
The
entire
whole time.
impeachment of Donald Trump was one big hypocritical hit job, and he knew all the details because that's what the Democrats were doing.
I haven't looked deeply into the charges on Schiff. I'm aware of it, but I haven't looked at it really deep. But from what I understand,
I don't think you have to look too deep. He just did it.
Yeah, his is just so obvious that you had to create this kind of ball of twine to try to catch Trump in it. But that was difficult because nobody was mad.
In my mind,
nobody was upset about it.
When they found out that Adam Schiff did this, all of Trump, all of America First was just Beavis and Butthead sitting on the couch going,
oh, yeah.
the whole time. And I mean, they got it every time they think of it. It probably just brings joy to their heart and soul.
Every time I see the story, I'm like, fart knocker. So that's not too far off.
Is that a Beavis and Butthead?
Yeah, it is.
Did that come from Beavis and Butthead?
I think a
great word from the 90s.
I think it was pushed out to the masses by Beavis and Butthead. It was probably in existence before that.
Okay, real question here. As somebody who was certainly not allowed to watch Beavis and Butthead as a child growing up in a Christian home, were they high all the time? Were they just dumb?
No, they were just dumb.
They were just dumb.
They were just dumb.
Yeah.
Just genetically stupid.
What's so funny about it, too, is that if they ever draw in the newer ones on Paramount now, they're really funny, by the way. The new episodes are super funny.
Is it the same? It's the same shtick.
It's the same exact thing.
But it's funny.
But the animation's gotten better from when it originally launched, because you can watch the old ones there too. They draw people that look like normal people, and then Beavis and Butthead somehow exist in this world looking like these freak things that aren't really people, but interacting with actual people.
Anyway, I hope that Adam Schiff has to sit and think about what he's done. I mean, is it? I don't even know. Maybe I'll ask Hans that tomorrow. Like, is it really possible? Will we get the pleasure? Because that's what they wanted for Trump. They're like, oh, we're going to get a mugshot. He's like, I'm going to make this the most BA mugshot that's ever been snapped. And then we're going to convict him. He's going to be a felon. And he's like, fine, do it. I don't care. I'm still going to go be the president of the United States. And people are like, what if he's in jail? And they're like, he can still be the president from jail.
And they're like,
So Schiff, can he still be a senator from jail?
I don't know, but I'm willing to try. I'm willing to see this thing through.
He can go sit next to Mr. Goldbars in his coat pockets. What's his name?
Oh,
Menendez
from New Jersey.
Menendez.
How's he doing?
I don't think he's a senator anymore.
No, he certainly is not. All right, Wiggins America next. Man, I hope this isn't a heavy lift here for you, but what to expect when you drop your kid off for their first day at college. Don't talk to me about this yet.
It's going to be tough for you.
I'm going to go to my happy place, which is Adam Schiff in a jail cell for a really dumb crime. We'll be right back.
The ring of fire, the taste of love is sweet. When hearts like ours meet.
The Retirement Advisory Group, you find them online at retirementkey.com, 314-993-9494. That's 314-993-9494. The Retirement Advisory Group, Bob and Tammy Kershaw, they are going to help you feel comfortable about the transition from work into retirement. Doesn't hurt to start talking to them if you got, retirement. Maybe you don't know when it's going to happen. You're not ready to quit, but you do want to know where you're at. When you call 314-993-9494, you are going to be able to sit down, have a conversation with them about where you are, and they're going to be able to tell you about the important things that you need to know about making that transition. And it doesn't cost you anything. You can sit down, you can listen to them. It's basically you interviewing them. Do I trust you? Do I feel like I want to put my retirement in your hands? And many, many, many people who have listened to this show and this station certainly have made that choice. If you're nearing retirement, or even if you're already retired and you're worried about the market volatility and losses at this stage in your life, call the Retirement Advisory Group, 314-993-9494, retirementkey.com.
Bold, unapologetic, unfiltered. The Mark Cox Morning Show is covering the issues that matter to you. From borders to school boards, Mark Cox is St. Louis conservative.
If you suffer from burning, tingling, or numb feet, pay special attention as we discuss neuropathy with Dr. Patton, D.C. Doctor, what is neuropathy?
Peripheral neuropathy is nerve damage to the feet and legs.
What are the symptoms?
The symptoms are numbness, burning, tingling, pain, and loss of balance.
Is neuropathy treatable?
It's absolutely treatable, and we have amazing results.
If you have burning, tingling, numbness, coldness in your feet or hands or balance issues, call us at Comprehensive Integrated Health today for a nerve damage screening. The screening will tell if you're at risk for serious complications and if you're a candidate for our cutting-edge treatment program. Don't wait until your symptoms are so severe nothing can be done. End-stage neuropathy leaves people confined to walkers, wheelchairs, and even amputations. The first 10 callers will receive a free nerve damage screening. Call 636-538-5188. That's 636-538-5188 for your free nerve damage screening. 636-538-5188.
Like I said before, tariffs had absolutely zero effect on our equipment pricing. No manufacturer raised their prices. What has affected the pricing is the previous 4 years of these ridiculous mandates. I mean, I say ridiculous, it's shameful. But that being said, if you're told that you need a new system, or your air conditioner is bad, or you're looking to replace your system, if you want a common sense approach which works for you, your family, and your budget. When I say your budget, it never is what you want it to be on this equipment, but common sense approach, 15-20 minutes of your time, and explain to you your options. No Kool-Aid being handed out. I'm Bart Inman. That's Bart with a B, Inman with an I. The easiest way to get a hold of me with the easiest number, Missouri and Illinois, there's only one, 314-293-2600. Remember, 0% financing is available for most up to 60 months. Fantastic deal. God bless.
Smart talk, strong values. This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM.
How's the steady stream, Ryan?
Everybody needs a steady stream of passive income. I'm not talking about pee. Let's talk about college instead.
I just hit my tooth on the microphone.
Is that what that was?
Yeah, that hurt.
Put that on the record.
Ugh.
Here's what Annie's tooth sounds like.
Clunk. It was just one clunk.
Somebody makes it into a rap.
That would be you.
Yeah, you were the somebody.
All right. Do you remember when you were dropped off at college, or did you have that experience?
I'm pretty sure I just went
Did you go away to college ever?
down the road.
So you never really had that.
No, I went to SIU.
Did anybody in the room ever get
Edwardsville.
dropped off at college at a teary farewell?
Did they kick you out of the back of the car? Like, get out of here, Ethan.
I was at Lindenwood, so I was only like 45 minutes away. But I remember by the end of it, like when I left my dog, I cried like a baby.
Oh my gosh, you said that Charlie, we have 2 pups, and he's like already worried about one day having to leave the dogs. I'm like, hi, gave you life. And he's like, the dogs.
I have this.
I'm like, give me a break, kid.
I have this picture of my door open, me getting ready to get in, and my dog, just a little Shih Tzu, putting her front paws up on it, trying to get
Where
in,
you
and I
going,
just lost it. Oh God, yeah, that was
that makes me so sad.
That was pretty emotional.
You could have just never left them. And what about your mom?
I'm so glad I did.
What about your mother?
I love my mother,
And you,
but
well,
I
you
couldn't live with
secret-
my mother anymore.
Well, she probably couldn't live with you anymore.
You're not wrong.
When you got in the car and you pulled away and she couldn't see you, you cried because of how much you loved her and were just so grateful for the years of hard work and the hours of labor.
Oh, no, I cried when I said goodbye to my family, too. I definitely cried when I said goodbye to my family.
Especially your mom.
Actually, my dad was probably the one I cried at the most.
Killing me.
Besides my
Wait,
dog.
Let me get this straight. You went to Lindenwood.
Yeah.
From Bethalto?
Yeah.
That's like your commute now.
That's not the point.
That's totally not the
An
point, Ryan.
entirely different
It's
transition.
a new age
in
of life. You're living on your own for the first time.
You go see your dog in the evenings.
You're going from being with your family every single day to all of a sudden you see them once a month,
I
probably.
think I commuted farther than that whenever I was in college because I went to Mobab in Chesterfield.
And he's just staying
Yeah, but you were commuting. That's totally different.
Yeah. Why, you guys, why am I getting trashed for opening up here?
Maybe they don't have the relationship that you had with your dear mother.
And dad. Said and, not or.
So I'm the only one that
freaking
really
AD.
got dropped off at college that was further than a regular commute.
You're special. We already knew that.
SIUC. It's not even that far.
Dirty Dale.
But I do remember my beloved mother crying real
Tears of joy.
when she left. I don't know if my dad was or not. He might have been, but he didn't let me know. But my mom absolutely did. This article from today.
Would you have appreciated watching Mr. Wiggins cry?
I would have probably started crying if I saw my dad cry.
Yeah.
I don't think I did when they left. I was kind of excited. The actual, this is from today, so the Today Show. It says these are things that you should know before dropping your kid off at college for the first time. That the actual drop-off is not that emotional, they say.
Wrong.
There's so many things to do that the actual drop-off and all the logistics, it almost gets lost
busy.
in that moment. Yeah, but I did not experience that. My mom was crying like crazy, and Ethan was too.
This is not true. I do not believe this.
The second one is it hits you when you get home, back to reality.
Yeah.
That they're not there.
Yeah.
That's got to be the worst moment when you get home.
Especially for mom.
My parents told me they cried in bed that night. They did say that.
You know what we should do?
It's like it's an empty home.
Where are you at in the birth order?
I'm the oldest, so I was the first.
So that's
That's the toughest.
Ethan. You're a terrible person for doing that to your parents.
You're a terrible person for becoming independent and adulting. How
You should
dare
never
you,
have grown
you
up.
son
You're
of
a
a...
Toys R Us kid.
You could still be there with them right now, living the dream.
Whose dream?
Mine.
It is a nightmare.
Annie's
It's a
dream.
nightmare.
Annie's dream. Knock it off.
We only have a few seconds left in this segment. I'm just going to allow Annie to just sort of sit in it.
We're extending out the
We extend,
segment. You
everybody
have
else
another
in the
minute.
room understands that we're going a little extra long, but you're wasting the time that we are now using.
3, 2.
Yeah, you don't you use that once, you're done.
You okay?
You're about to not be.
Good to be going. Okay, here we go. The little things will make you miss them so much.
Oh, hell.
Besides having their sweet presence around, there are things that the
Your
parent
sweet presence, Ethan.
is going to miss. Little things, fighting with their younger brother, even talking to the dog. Ethan, that was in the article. Her shoes spread all over the garage floor are his shoes.
Why would you miss that?
Because it means that you were there.
Oh, right.
Your presence.
Right.
Be aware that you will cry at the most unexpected times.
Fantastic. Can't wait.
You've lost Annie for the rest of the show. You realize that, right?
Now I'm sad. Now I'm emotional.
All she's going to be thinking about is Charlie.
I don't
and
even
his
have
final
feelings.
Day.
Let's take this another 4 or 5 minutes. The lack of
Fox News,
communication
you just sit down.
with your child is going to kill you.
Deroy Murdock, next on the Annie Fry Show.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well,
I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/radio for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
So the time has come to downsize your home because all of the people you created have left. And you want a smaller home. And so you're going to need a new mortgage. Stewie understands this. He can help you get that new mortgage and a bagel loan, which will put a smile back on your face because nothing covers the sins of children who leave you behind like no dollars on your closing costs.
You're really doing a great job.
Stewie understands. 314-324-4440. It will put a smile on your face, even if it's temporary. What doesn't make you happier than having to pay no closing costs on a mortgage? It's a big bill that's going to come due, and it doesn't with Stewart's American Mortgage, both on a refinance. The kids are gone, and now you're putting in all the fun stuff in your home, like a pool, a hot tub, and a theater in your basement. You got to enjoy something while all of them have left you. Stewie can help you with that with the cash out refinance. No closing costs. Am I right? I'm right.
You're right.
314-324-4440. The real party starts when they leave, folks. NMLS number 226715.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
This is a Fox News alert. 5 soldiers are shot at a base in Georgia. I'm Chris Foster. This is at Fort Stewart. We're told those soldiers have survived. No word on their conditions. We're also told the shooter has been taken into custody.
The shooting was reported to be inside the 2nd Brigade combat area and prompted a lockdown on the entire post, which is home to some 20,000 troops and families and is a workplace for thousands of civilian employees.
Fox's Evan Brown. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff's meeting with Russia's president went well, the White House says, but new sanctions are still expected to take effect on Friday.
Witkoff met earlier this morning with Russian President Vladimir Putin, and Russian officials claim that they're skeptical that new U.S. sanctions will have an impact. Still, if no deal is reached by Friday, President Trump has floated 2 kinds of consequences: new sanctions on Russian imports to the U.S. and secondary tariffs, meaning tariffs on countries importing Russian energy. And that could impact major players like India and China.
Fox's Alex Hogan. President Trump announced today tariffs on Indian imports will be 50%, an additional 25% for the Russian oil purchases going into effect in 3 weeks. The vice president's hosting a strategy session with other top members of the administration about how to handle fallout from the withholding of Jeffrey Epstein files.
Fox News confirms Vice President J.D. Vance will host Attorney General Pam Bondi, Deputy AG Todd Blanche, FBI Director Kash Patel, and White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles for dinner tonight. Last week, Blanche spent 2 days interviewing Epstein's longtime partner, Ghislaine Maxwell, who is serving a 20-year federal prison sentence for sex trafficking. Justice Department officials are considering releasing the transcript of that interview. Neither the FBI or the Justice Department are commenting on the planned meeting. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
Apple CEO Tim Cook joins President Trump at the White House this afternoon for an announcement about new Apple investment in the United States. America's listening to Fox News.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eloquist.com or call 1-855-ELOQUIS.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Making the turn to a little bit more summer in our atmosphere, though certainly nothing extreme. Sunny skies, we'll call it warm to hot, just barely. A little more humid, but also just barely. 80s to near 90, 71 for the overnight low. Then on Thursday, sunny, hot, and humid, 92. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, sunny, hot, and humid, 93 each day. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The Annie Fry Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Don't have a journeyman license? Air Comfort Service will help you get it. Get guaranteed hours year-round and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio. I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
What these guys are doing is like the Charles Manson of politics and manipulation of intelligence and conspiracy. People have died. People have lost their livelihoods. Yeah. People have lost their careers. People have not been promoted. Families have been destroyed. Finances have been wiped out. Millions of Americans were kicked off of social media. News networks like Real America's Voice were not allowed onto the legacy media platforms. This damage is far and wide and has been ongoing for a long time. So Nixon is not even a drop in the bucket to what this kind of 2 or 3 dozen criminals in and around the Clinton operation, the DNC, and Obama's operation, and Biden's operation, for that matter, have been doing now for over a decade.
Devin Nunes, an intelligence advisor to President Trump, speaking about the consequences. This can't be all these scandals. Our YouTube poll for today is, which scandal are you most interested in getting the full story? Russiagate, Epstein, the Autopen situation with President Biden, or COVID as a whole. This isn't. It's easy to think of this as a political battle. It's just a jockeying for power. You know, all is fair in love and war, and politics is war. It's easy to think that, like, oh, well, the Democrats did what they thought they had to do to win, or that that the ultimate consequence here, the worst thing that could happen, is that Hillary Clinton lost the election in 2016. She put all of her eggs in a basket of deplorables and lost by contriving a lie against Donald Trump, thinking that would be the nail in the coffin to keep him from getting to the Oval Office. What did Hillary Clinton run on in 2016?
She couldn't define that herself. They asked her one time to define the difference between a socialist and a capitalist.
Democrat.
Or a Democrat, that's right.
A Democrat and a Democratic socialist.
She couldn't figure it out. She kind of stumbled through it like J.B. Pritzker talking about gerrymandering.
I would say that it's not that she couldn't figure it out. It's that she didn't want to divide those people. She needed both of them. She needed the socialists.
Yeah.
You and I are smart enough to understand that is a policy.
Yeah.
That is an ideology that leans in every policy. But Devin Nunes is here, and he's talking about the type of damage that was done. I mean, he says it, and I believe him. People have lost their lives over their lives and their livelihood, certainly, many people. And it's impossible to look at this type of a situation. I mean, a lot of the people on the left will really work hard to encourage you to do so. But to look at it like it is just, this is a political thing. This is something that happened in the past. Go back and look at what they actually prosecuted Donald Trump on. That was in the past, but that didn't matter then. It didn't even matter. Like I've said before, I challenged Donald Trump to try to replicate the crime that he was convicted of. I don't think he would even know how to do it. Here's more from Tulsi Gabbard.
There's a report tonight from the Federalist that the DOJ is actually asking you for more documents in its grand jury probe. Is that true? And what are they asking for now?
That is true, Laura, and I just want to point out how important this is, that Attorney General Pam Bondi, through the Department of Justice, is taking this necessary first step toward accountability, which is essential for the American people to begin to have any kind of trust in the integrity of our democratic republic. I met with the Department of Justice prosecutors today, and yes, they are committed to leaving no stone unturned as they conduct this grand jury investigation and find the truth. Obviously, we've already handed over the documents that we've declassified and released publicly over the last few weeks. They have more questions, and they're going to be really taking a deep dive into this, again, looking everywhere to find the truth and conduct this very serious investigation.
The Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, there talking about how deep they're willing to go on the issue of getting to the bottom of the Russia hoax, but also many other situations that we're facing right now. The Russia one being of great interest because the names that are being named are the biggest names that you could have in an investigation like this. Should they be untouchable in any way, shape, or form? Let's ask Deroy Murdock, once again with us, nationally syndicated columnist, Project 21 ambassador as well, and a Fox News contributor. Deroy, welcome back to the show. Always a pleasure to have you here.
Hey, it's great to be with you.
Are you surprised at all with Tulsi Gabbard, with Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, among other names, people who have been behind the scenes working to uncover the truth of what actually happened, that the biggest names that could be named have been named in regards to this Russia collusion story?
I'm not sure whether or not I'm surprised. I'm certainly pleased that things are going along these lines and that they're not doing what so many Republicans have done in the past, which is, just turn the other cheek, move on, let's be nice to them, they'll be nice to us, et cetera, et cetera. This is egregious, horrific behavior on the part of Hillary Clinton, Obama, FBI, former director James Comey, former CIA directors John Brennan and James Clapper and others. And remember, this isn't just a initial investigation into some credible charges or at least credible accusations that there was some tie between Donald J. Trump and the Kremlin, and maybe the investigation took on a life of its own and got out of control. This thing was invented, fabricated, made up, synthesized from the very, very beginning. This thing was fake from the very start. This didn't have legitimate roots that then just got kind of out of control. And this wasn't just like, okay, let's just put out a little nasty Twitter message and kind of tweak Trump and move on with our lives. This thing dragged on for 3 years and consumed the national attention. Half the country thought that, oh my God, the President of the United States is a KGB agent. What a terrible monster he is. And the other half of the country sitting there looking at the other half, thinking, how could you possibly be so consumed with Trump derangement syndrome that you believe that the President of the United States is taking orders from Putin? This is serious, nasty stuff. This is severe abuse of power. This is conspiracy. And people were damaged very badly in the process. You had people like George Papadopoulos get thrown behind bars who did nothing wrong. You had Paul Manafort and one of his aides get imprisoned, again, did nothing wrong. You had Michael Flynn, former national security advisor, and Roger Stone, longtime political strategist for Trump and other Republicans, sentenced to jail, sentenced to prison. Fortunately, they were pardoned by Trump right before he left office, so they didn't have to show up in prison. But people had lost their liberty, got thrown behind bars. People were bankrupted with massive legal fees in the 6 and 7 digits. And this is not because they were fighting any legitimate charges or any actual crime. This was all totally invented as fake as Bugs Bunny or Roadrunner or Daffy Duck. Yeah. And the people behind this, I hate the term hold them to account. I have no idea what that means. I want consequences and I want punishment. Consequences like losing their law licenses, being disbarred, paying massive fines, and then punishment like being thrown behind bars for 5, 7, 10, 20 years or longer. These people have to pay very, very serious punishment and consequences for the tremendous evil that they wrought upon these individuals I mentioned and the entire United States of America. Shame on them. They really can't suffer enough, in my opinion.
Deroy Murdock with us right now, and you can read his piece on this in the Daily Signal. It's time for Russia hoax conspirators to face the music. I encourage you to read that. So, Deroy, when you compare how the Trump Justice Department and investigative entities are looking into what actually happened and uncovered it, there's a method to their madness. There's the way that it seems a lot of people like me can sit there and be like, give us everything. We want to see everything. It seems as though they're being very, very intentional and cautious in how they are releasing things. Can you compare how the Trump administration is approaching these investigations into the political witch hunts that were perpetuated by prior administrations, both Obama's, Hillary Clinton's hopeful one, and then, of course, Joe Biden's? Compare the way Donald Trump is approaching this versus the way Joe Biden's Justice Department pursued Donald Trump.
Well, among other things, we are seeing in this particular Russia hoax case, we're just finding out over the last few days, that apparently the Department of Justice is presenting this evidence to a grand jury and letting the grand jury determine if there is sufficient evidence to indict these people for their tremendous crimes against the country, versus what Biden and these other people did, which was in large cases to go into court, concoct bizarre legal theories as to whether, for example, it is against the law to have somebody to pay somebody to sign a non-disclosure agreement. I've signed non-disclosure agreements in exchange for money, in exchange for various activities, contracts, business activities in which I'm involved. People sign non-disclosure agreements thousands and thousands every single day. There's nothing illegal about that. And yet you had Donald J. Trump being chased through a courtroom here in New York City because supposedly there was a Stormy Daniels signed a non-disclosure agreement, and somehow that was conspiratorial or evil or criminal. No, there's nothing criminal about that at all. So a lot of these things were crimes alleged crimes where there was no crime, and yet the Department of Justice, state prosecutors, local prosecutors were going after Trump, engaged in this tremendous lawfare strategy designed essentially to get him off the campaign trail and behind bars, and it backfired. The more they tried to pursue this sort of thing and claim, for example, that he defrauded Deutsche Bank by claiming that his properties were worth more money than they actually were worth. Deutsche Bank said, look, we weren't defrauded. We got our money back. We got paid with interest. We got paid ahead of schedule. We went back to Trump and said, look, you're a great customer. We'd love to lend you more money. And yet you had this judge here in New York City saying, oh, my God, he defrauded these people, even though they were running back saying, please, let's do more business with you. And by the way, he overstated the value of Mar-a-Lago, which I forget the exact number, but I believe the judge in that case said Mar-a-Lago is worth something like $20 or $30 million. That's probably $1 billion property. They're empty, totally empty lots selling within a few miles of Mar-a-Lago for like $200 million with just dirt, no fountains, no landscaping, no swimming pools, no bedrooms, no ballrooms, and that's worth $200 million. And according to this ridiculous judge up here in New York, Mar-a-Lago, with one of the most palatial homes in America, with all the landscaping and beautiful decorations and stuff you want, that's only worth $20 million or $25 million, but this dirt lot is worth 10x that amount of money, and therefore that defrauded Deutsche Bank, even though Deutsche Bank said, well, we were not defrauded. We do due diligence. If we think there are any funny numbers, we are aware of that because we're big boys at Deutsche Bank, boys and girls. And we were paid back with interest ahead of schedule, and we went back to Trump and said, hey, let's do more business together. So this is the kind of way that Trump has been treated. I think Tulsi Gabbard and Attorney General Pam Bondi are being much more serious, presenting evidence before a grand jury. And if the grand jury agrees, then these people, I suppose, will be indicted, but only if the grand jury believes there is sufficient evidence to do so.
We're speaking with Deroy Murdock. One last question. This Russia hoax scenario, is there any way that the Russia collusion narrative that has plagued Donald Trump from the moment that was launched to this very day, he has had to combat against that? Is there any possibility that that story is fabricated, created, and dispersed the way it is without Barack Obama's approval and participation?
That's a very good question. A key to all of this is that December of 2016, the FBI said essentially that no, we don't believe that there is any involvement on the part of Russia, they may have tried to hack the election, but they didn't succeed in doing so. Obama basically said, look, that's not the answer we want. We want you guys to go back and think about it some more and come up with a different answer. And sure enough, January 6, 2017, the CIA actually came forward and said, quote, we assess Putin and the Russian government aspire to help President-elect Trump's election chances when possible by discrediting Secretary Clinton and publicly contrasting her unfavorably to him, unquote. So the CIA changed their tune, and once they did that, then they were able to go forward and say, okay, I guess this means he really is a Russian agent, so let's start, crank up the Russia hoax, get the investigations going, get the congressional committees going, and so on and so on. And this dragged on for 3 years and pitted Americans against each other, threw people behind bars who shouldn't have been, and then completely drowned people in legal bills who should have been left alone. This is serious, egregious abuse of power, and those perpetrators who engage in these massive crimes against, I think they're frankly atrocities against these individuals and crimes against the entire United States of America need to pay serious price for all this in terms of fines, loss of their legal licenses, disbarment, and imprisonment. Can't happen soon enough to a more delightful group of people, in my view.
Well, keep the pressure on, Deroy. We love reading your work in the Daily Signal and all the different places that you're syndicated, and we thank you for your time today here on the Annie Frey Show.
Great, Annie. Great to talk to you. Thanks very much.
Great to talk to you as well. Deroy Murdock, nationally syndicated columnist, Project 21 ambassador, Fox News contributor, and friend of the Annie Frey Show. We're going to take a quick break. That YouTube live chat poll, which scandal are you most interested in getting the full story? I'm going to read some of your comments as soon as we come back. You want the full story the most. I know you want them all. The most on Russiagate, Epstein, Autopen, or COVID? Let us know what you think. We'll be right back.
I'm gonna turn off my phone, start catching up with the old me. It's hard.
Your garage door is always there for you, rain or shine. Are you taking your garage door for granted? Is it screeching and whining for attention? Trust Overhead Door Company of St. Louis to keep your garage door reliable. Maybe the old weather stripping needs replaced to keep out the cold and hot air. Call Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, trusted here since 1926. For same-day service, call 314-781-5200 and schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
Mark Cox here. Let me introduce you to my friends at the Lit Cigar Lounge in St. Louis, where luxury meets comfort. Premium hand-rolled cigars, an extensive selection of rare bourbons and whiskeys and craft cocktails. It's comfortable for non-smokers, too. They have a state-of-the-art ventilation system. They have private lockers and live music every Friday night, perfect for date nights or business meetings or just winding down. Visit litstl.com.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw with Retirement Advisory Group. Are you worried about market volatility? Are you concerned your money won't last you through retirement?
Hi, I'm Tammy Kershaw, and as a family-owned business, we are committed to protecting your retirement, whether you're nearing retirement or already retired. We have a lot of folks that aren't aware of all the new investment choices that are available, which give you growth and protection from losses at the same time. Are you aware of all the fees that you are currently paying? We can show you how to avoid those fees. So come in now for your free retirement review and get a second opinion on your retirement plan. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. Let us show you how to retire with confidence.
We are proud to say we haven't lost a penny of our clients' money in 39 years, and we won't lose a penny of yours either. Let our family help your family. Call us now at 314-993-9494 or go online to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon with news for listeners who, like me, want to learn more about Bitcoin. Bitcoin Ben's Crypto Club is coming to St. Louis later this summer. The Bitcoin Ben Crypto Clubs teach members what Bitcoin is, how to buy it, how to safely store it, and how to avoid scams. And we'll connect with others like us who want to learn more about crypto. St. Louis will be the 7th club nationwide and Ben's hometown. If you want to know more about Bitcoin, you need to know Bitcoin Ben. Learn more at bitcoinben.io. That's bitcoinben.io.
Are you looking to hire? ZipRecruiter finds the best candidate for your job fast. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/free. That's ziprecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
STS-Armory.com. Please consider STS Armory as a family-owned and operated business is there to help earn your business. And once you find the people who are working in the Second Amendment realm that you like and that you trust, you're going to go back to see them again and again, even if you just want to hang out, because there are people who are knowledgeable. They are in the forefront of all of the different types of laws that are changing, the different types of things that become available. I know there are a lot of lawsuits that are out there right now trying to expand Second Amendment rights in the state of Illinois. STS Armory, Katie and Jesse, their staff there, they know exactly what is happening, when it's happening, and you can get the full load of information from the folks at STS Armory. They also have classes, though, and I really want you to consider those classes that you have to take. Like if you want to get your conceal and carry license in the state of Illinois, you got to take a class. You might as well go to the best. That's Katie and Jesse with STS Armory. Same thing with your renewal class. I got my conceal and carry license renewed with STS Armory last November. And my son just went to STS Armory so that he could apply for his FOID card. You go there, they walk you through the whole process. They make sure that the T's are literally crossed, the I's are literally dotted, and he's on his way to having his FOID card. So if you have questions about firearms, if you're looking to make a purchase, please consider STS Armory. They'd love to earn your business. I think you'll be glad you did. STS-Armory.com.
Annie Fry is back because truth doesn't take a break. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
So the YouTube poll today, which scandal are you most interested in getting the full story? Russiagate, Epstein, Autopen, or COVID? Ryan, you got to pick one. We know everybody wants all of it, but you got to pick one.
Man, I'm really, really close between Epstein and Autopen. Autopen, I think since the last time we did this poll, that's a newer scandal because...
Autopen?
Yeah, we've done this poll before with other choices, and Autopen I don't think was one of them. But you're right, that does kind of encompass everything about the Biden administration. The fact that this guy was not doing anything, clearly didn't know what he was signing, according to accounts from even the Speaker of the House. So that one is very intriguing, but I still am going to go Epstein because I think there still is a lot to uncover there. The exciting thing about that is because it's gotten so much attention, I believe this is back on the radar for President Trump. I believe it's back on the radar as a priority for the DOJ and the House. And now you have Democrats on board saying that they want to know the truth because they were never saying it before. So now you have all these people being subpoenaed to come in and testify on this subject. I'm really excited about that to find out what really went down and how it was covered up is a big part of this too.
So Joe says, I want Autopen. This is on YouTube. Leave us your comments there. We'll be featuring them throughout the show because I believe the rats leaving that ship will more readily snitch to save themselves, which in turn will lead to obsmists. What's that?
Obsmists?
Yeah, which will take us to Chappaqua. Okay. So I think that the interesting thing about the Autopen scandal, the Autopen is a one-word summation of an absent president. The reason why people are shortening it to Autopen is because there is a mechanism in place for the presidency that allows them to put the president's signature on things that he doesn't physically put that pen to that paper. Now, President Trump has said the White House gets, I don't know, hundreds or thousands of letters, lots of letters. And oftentimes they will send back replies to letters that they have gotten, and the president's signature will be on there. That is different than signing an executive order. That is really different than signing a pardon. The president is not enacting some sort of official act by replying to a letter of a kid who maybe lost a parent in military service or something like that. Or somebody who benefited from or is asking for attention to a certain type of matter that maybe the president would be able to have some sort of effect on. Being able to reply to those letters, those type of things, don't require the president's physical presence in order to author those things. The only way that you get to the place where the president of the United States is blanket pardoning his son, which isn't that the only one that he signed himself? I think he signed Hunter Biden's pardon. Why did he sign that one and not the rest of them?
That's a very good question.
The fact that I almost feel like it would be better for their case if they would have used the same signature for Hunter's.
That's very true.
Like if none of the other ones stick because the president wasn't there and didn't approve it, but the Hunter one does stick, why would a father do that? Did he have the presence of mind in that instance? Was that something that he could understand? When the rest of the stuff he wasn't either briefed on or a part of the decision? Can he delegate pardons to his staff? I think the answer is no. It's an executive authority. The only way that concept could ever even reach the level of power that Joe Biden did is if leading up to the 2020 election, so many things were in disarray, so many lines were blurred, and there had to be an enormous amount of confidence in a bureaucracy that would sustain the country in the process that we just had to get somebody in there. And I actually think that Joe Biden's limited cognitive ability was the plausible deniability that you needed to get across the finish line, because they just needed 4 years. That's what they needed. He said before he got elected the first time that he wasn't going to run again. That was his commitment. The only way that all of this stuff can come together is if you're so braggadociously arrogant about what you can get away with that you could even make Joe Biden the president of the United States. You could make him be the president of the United States. Just a little advocacy potentially for Autopen. I don't know that that's the one I'm voting for in this one. They're all huge. We need your votes. When we come back, Joe Concha is going to join us, and I'm going to talk to him about the fall of Stephen Colbert and what this might mean for the future. Plus, Greg Gutfeld on Thursday, going to be on Jimmy Fallon's show. That's pretty huge. Joe Concha, our dear friend, next on The Annie Fry Show. Home Shield Foundation repair, the method that they use to level out the uneven concrete in your home that's been made worse through erosion, through time and pressure. Of course, all these things shift and they become hazardous at your home. You need to make sure that you resolve that, but you don't want to overspend on it. You want a cost-effective solution. That's where Home Shield Foundation Repair comes in. They use a system called polyjacking. It's a polyurethane foam. It gets injected underneath the concrete. It raises it up, levels it out, gets rid of the eyesore, but more importantly, the safety hazard at your business, at your home, to make sure that you have your level best with your concrete at your residence and your business. It comes along with a 5-year warranty as well. This locally owned company is there to make sure that you are cared for from start to finish. You call Matt Hayes out to your home. He's going to assess the situation and give you an estimate on what you're looking at. So you don't have to commit to anything before you know exactly what you're getting into. Just call him at 314-227-9636. 314-227-9636. HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
When it comes to affordable term life insurance, everyone's whistling the Big Lou tune. If you're over 50, maybe a bit porky, or have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost about $200 a month. Even if you're not in perfect health, call Big Lou, because he specializes in finding big chunks of affordable term life insurance for just about everyone. Don't let diabetes or other health glitches keep you from owning $500,000 to $1 million or more of term life insurance. For affordable term life insurance, call Big Lou. Don't hesitate. Call 800-700-6898, 800-700-6898, or visit biglou.com.
Call Big Lou, don't hesitate, 800-700-6898. Call Big Lou, don't hesitate, 800-700-6898. Visit biglou.com.
Attention St. Louis Medicaid members. If you need assistance with daily living, you can receive a free service from Freedom Care in your own home from a loved one who lives with you. With Freedom Care, you decide who provides your daily care, helping you with preparing meals, bathing, laundry, transportation, and more. A family member or friend that gets paid weekly. This Medicaid program is available to eligible St. Louis residents. New to Medicaid? The Freedom Care family will guide you through enrollment, making it stress-free for patients and caregivers. With over 7,000 five-star Google reviews, we've perfected at-home care for Medicaid members and caregivers. If you live in the St. Louis area, this service is available through Medicaid, and with our InstaPay app, caregivers can choose to get paid weekly. So go to freedomcare.com now, or for faster service, call 314-697-4912. 314-697-4912. That's 314-697-4912.
Which scandal are you most interested in getting the full story? Russiagate, Epstein, Autopen, or COVID? That's what we're asking you today. Weigh in on the YouTube live chat poll by typing in Annie Fry on YouTube, and today's date will come up, and so will that question. 1:33, this time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Where common sense rules the mic. 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
Governor, and I don't want to, spoil anyone's reputation here. You're a billionaire, okay? Not a very popular thing to be right now.
I'm okay with it.
You're okay with it, I'm sure. You know what? That shows real courage. But
I've got to stand up for my people,
I think it's...
Oh my gosh. Joe Concha, Fox News contributor.
I got to stand up for my people. You've got the billionaire governor of my home state of Illinois saying, I got to stand up for my people, jokingly on a failed Stephen Colbert show. And everybody just laughs. Joe Concha, welcome back to the show. Fox News contributor, author of The Greatest Comeback Ever Inside Trump's Big Beautiful Campaign, which you can get now. Welcome back. Good to have you.
And I said, what's Fred Flintstone doing on Colbert? Does that make any sense to you?
I mean, it makes no sense in all the sense in the world at the same time, kind of.
Yeah.
Were you able to watch that whole interview? How do you consume this?
I did.
Do you sit down and watch Colbert, or do you just do the clip thing like I do?
No, I can't. I mean, look, I'm not, 31 like you are. Okay. I got to go to bed. I got young kids. I got a lot to do. I got 8 jobs. But, I watched the clips, and it's a Democratic late night therapy session. I mean, that's all it is. And Colbert just over and over again. I don't get why CBS just doesn't cut bait already with this guy and just say, you know what, if you're just going to have the same people on to complain about Republicans and talk about saving democracy when you're losing by 1 million viewers to Greg Gutfeld, who has 1/100th the resources that you do. I just don't get why they want to lose money and keep this guy in the air while he's bashing the network, by the way, when he isn't, kissing the butts of Democrats. I don't know. I mean, if I ran that network, he'd be gone yesterday.
Let me ask you to dig in a little bit on this, because certainly in conservative talk radio, like the understanding of having all the right people, but no extra people or resources. There are people who are scrapping and working really hard pretty much around the clock to try to make at least what we do here on this show happen. But Fox News, I've heard them say on the Gutfeld show many times that when you look at what Colbert has at his fingertips to produce a show that is not a winner, what's the difference there, and how have they gotten away with it for this long?
That's the thing. Like, I hear anywhere from like 100 to 200 staffers as far as like what Colbert has.
What are they doing?
Now think about what are they doing? Exactly. I have to know, Annie, what we're doing right now, okay, is having a conversation. And it's you asking questions, me giving analysis. We go back and forth for a bit. Do we need even more than like 1 or 2 people to oversee this process that we're going through right now?
Not really.
Historically? No, we don't. And that's the whole thing. So, again, Colbert, 95% of that show is Colbert asking, generous questions to Democrats, and then they answer them. So why do I need 200 people, 100 people, $130 million in production budget again? Where is that going? It's just, it's typical of Democrats, actually. This totally makes sense now, because they just throw money at things, think it's going to produce things, and it doesn't. And that's why Gutfeld, I could tell you, he's on the 21st floor of Fox News, at the headquarters in New York. And when you walk by their staff, it's 8 people. It's literally like 4 desks, like back to back with each other, and that's it. And yet he's getting 3.5 million viewers when Colbert's getting. Let's put it this way: Kamala Harris was on that show last week. Big news, right? She hasn't done an interview in quite some time. You'd think it's big news, and she only got 2.3 million people watching that. With her book and the tour and everything else like that. So even when he gets the so-called big guests, they're not big guests. Tom Hanks used to be a big guest, or Rickles used to be a big guest, or Sinatra, or Burt Reynolds, on Carson. Now, who's the big guest? It's Bernie Sanders, right?
Yeah.
It's Cory Booker. And that's Colbert. He's the inmate running the asylum, and clearly the inmate has no idea what he's doing from a business perspective.
Do they get an audience? Is this, they're in New York, right? Colbert's in New York, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
at Sullivan's Theory, yeah. 55th
Okay.
Street.
So if the old Letterman setup.
Correct.
Do they get an audience that just walk, get up in line in New York City? Oh, we're gonna go take in the Colbert show. You get in line, you get in, you get to watch a taping. Is that how that still works?
Let's put it this way: if this was in St. Louis, Missouri, this show, no one would show up, right? Or Missouri in general. New York, liberal, the tickets are free. So if it's free, you could go watch this show. It's mostly tourists that show up there. They're in New York. They're like, we can see Colbert. It's free. Yeah, sure. If it's free, why not go see it?
I can't imagine going to New York City and spending my time in New York City to go see like the Colbert show. And I go and it's Bernie Sanders. Like, how disappointing. I guess you get what you get knowing that. But like Jimmy Fallon now, Thursday, Greg Gutfeld is going to go be on that show. What do you think about Jimmy Fallon being willing to say, come on the show? Well, we'd love to have you.
I think Jimmy Fallon's been very resentful ever since he messed up Trump's hair in 2016. Remember when Trump was running? Trump goes on there. He asks, is it real? Trump says, you could shake it, and he does. And it was a viral moment, obviously good for Trump. And any other time, you would say, all right, well, that was just a late night thing that we just saw, and it was funny. And Fallon was eviscerated. He was ostracized. He was seen as, how dare you humanize this Nazi, this Hitler wannabe. And he went from first to third in a hurry because then the late night talk shows became political. Now in Trump 2.0, since he was elected in 2024, this stuff ain't working anymore. So I think Fallon's resigned to that fact. Fallon, of the three, Kimmel, Colbert, Fallon, is easily the most talented in terms of being an entertainer, to do musical bits, to do imitations, just in general, being funny. By far, he's the funniest. Kimmel's like the Pope of late night who just lectures on stuff. And Colbert is just insufferable. Fallon, you kind of root for because he's from the old guard, and hopefully he could go back to doing the show that he wanted to originally when he was number one in late night until Trump came along and Colbert hijacked the entire industry.
Yeah, and I think from our side of the aisle, as a conservative-minded person, a Republican, whatever people want to call it, I think we would laugh the hardest at a really good Trump joke. Like Donald Trump would laugh. Didn't Donald Trump give Bill Maher like a list of the insults or something, and he signed it? Bill Maher loved it. I mean, like the uptightness. It seems as though the people, the Kimmels and the Colberts of the world, are looking for collective approval. Where Jimmy Fallon looks to me like there's pretty much nothing that he wouldn't do if he thought he could make people laugh by doing it.
Precisely. When I met Trump at Mar-a-Lago on New Year's Eve, he invited my wife and me down. It's funny because my wife ran track at Georgetown. She was Division I, ranked third in the country at one point. I'm not doing this to be braggadocious, but I shared all this with him during. Yeah, I know. Like what? I know the next question. What's she doing married to you? I know. I heard 1,000 times.
Hadn't occurred to me, Joe.
You're funny, but the point is that he remembered me sharing this with him because we're talking about men playing against women in sports. I wasn't just talking about my wife. And when we meet him, we sat at his table. He first goes to her, basically ignores me. He goes, is this the runner? Is this the one that could blow me away? He goes, I eat McDonald's every day. Trust me, I'm not running against you. If I have a golf cart, maybe I could win. The guy is self-deprecating.
Yeah.
And yeah, sure. So he doesn't mind humor if it's done in the Dana Carvey way, the way it was done with George H.W. Bush or Darrell Hammond with Bill Clinton, right? That was, he laughed. It was funny, and I'm sure Clinton and Bush found it funny, and now it's just nasty, like Alec Baldwin when he did Trump, and obviously everything with Colbert, making homophobic jokes about Trump and Putin. It's not funny anymore. It's just nasty, and that's why these guys, thankfully, are going away, Annie.
Does Greg Gutfeld have anything to lose by going on Jimmy Fallon? I mean, you know him certainly better than we do here. Do you have a look behind the curtain as to how he is going to handle this? This is like, I'm leaning into this. I can't wait to see what happens because I don't know what it's going to look like.
No, I think Greg's he's a genuinely funny guy, and I think it's going to be a funny conversation for the most part. I don't think Fallon's going to ambush him. I don't think he's capable of it, quite frankly. But I think in the end, what it shows is that Fallon knows that, look, this is a number one guy in late night, getting a far bigger audience than me, double the size of Fallon. So why not have him on? It's going to be, obviously, we're talking about it. It's going to create a couple of news cycles. And I think in the end, this shows that Greg Gutfeld, who came from 3 a.m., Red Eye. I used to do that show. And it would beat CNN and MSNBC, most shows, 3 a.m. With no staff, to be where he is now and sitting on the Late Show or Johnny Carson used to occupy. I think that's just awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be something for people to take in. And I just want to see how these two professional gentlemen handle themselves because they are competitors. I mean, certainly Greg Gutfeld has made jokes about late night shows and how pathetic that the current status is. And it seems as though Jimmy Fallon's always had at least a willingness to make everybody laugh. And he seems to be genuinely invested in things that make people happy, which is the other side, is the misery loves company. Is Jimmy Kimmel going to last very much longer?
No, I don't think. And look, Disney is a different breed because they have a lot more money behind them. So maybe he does. But, I mean, again, Kimmel, when he said a couple of years ago, I hope that no Trump supporter ever watches me again, you're basically like telling the business side, screw you. I'm telling half the audience never to tune in again. And sure enough, they didn't, right? So that went way down. And then you talked about another Jimmy, and Jimmy Acosta. I was hoping we could talk about this. Interviewing a kid who was murdered at Parkland. I have a high school friend whose daughter was there. She had to hide in a closet. And it's just amazing. This guy puts on the AI version of a dead kid to talk about gun control. That was the sickest thing I have ever seen in so-called journalism. Not that Jim Acosta is a journalist, but I mean, I'm glad that he's being just roasted into oblivion, and I hope no one takes this person seriously again.
Yeah, certainly. It does seem like in Trump's first 6.5 months of being back in office, there's a lot of comeuppance happening, and just sitting there and watching it get dished out is very enjoyable to sit there and take it.
Sidney Sweeney, right?
Yes.
Same thing. Culture shift. This stuff, no one likes this crap anymore, and no one's putting up with it. And quite frankly, the left is losing the argument day after day after day, Annie.
Well, people can remember how we got to here by reading your book, The Greatest Comeback Ever. It is an absolute must-read. You can read Kamala's book, but then you can have The Chaser be the greatest comeback ever. It might feel even better. I've read it, and it's wonderful. Joe, thank you. We appreciate you.
Annie, you're the best. Take care.
Talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Joe Concha is a Fox News contributor on X at Joe Concha TV. He's a great writer, and his book, The Greatest Comeback Ever, is all about the lead up, the campaign, everything that happened in Trump's run to win his second term. And you lived it. You were there. You ebbed and flowed, emotionally yanked and pulled in every direction as this was happening. When you listen, like it's all boiled down to this one book. And when you're listening to it, if this were a fiction story that was written, you wouldn't believe that this could possibly be true. But we lived it. It is real. And it is the greatest comeback ever. Really, a great gift if you're looking to give a gift for somebody who really enjoys the fact that Donald Trump won. But read it for yourself. Or get the audiobook, which is what I did. And Joe will read it to you. Let's take a quick break. Ryan's going to get back in here. A couple more comments here on the Annie Fry YouTube live chat poll about the poll question we're asking. Which scandal are you most interested in getting the full story? We got a lot of thoughts here. A lot of people on the comments here saying Autopen, but Robert said, I voted Russiagate. Wanted Autopen. So it kind of seems like it's shaking out between there, but I did peek at the results, and it's closer than I thought it would be. Let us know what you think. We'll be right back.
What you know, Joe? What you know, Joe? What do you know, Joe? Just ain't making it, I don't know. I don't know. My mama tried to tell.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. We're glad that you're here with us right now. The YouTube live chat poll, we're going to talk about that here in just a second, but I want to remind you about Air Comfort Service. At this point in time, as August sets in, you never really know what is going to manifest as far as weather goes. And I did see a weather report that it's supposed to get hot again. Air Comfort Service is there to make sure that all of your HVAC is running properly. And if you're going to have them come out and check your AC right now because it's running too much and who can afford to pay those electric bills at this point, 314-513-0091. 314-513-0091. Reach out to Air Comfort Service and talk to them about the work that they might be able to do, maintenance, checkup. Maybe they can just fix something and you're not looking at a replacement in the event that you are having to look to replace your unit, or maybe choose between whatever kind of repair there might be, or what happens if we just replace it. They give you those options. That's what they did for us when our air conditioner stopped blowing cold air. 20 couple years into its existence in our home, it was put in when the house was built, and these things just happen. It becomes time to replace. Reach out to the people who are going to respect you. They aren't going to take advantage of you. 314-513-0091. AirComfortService.com.
From border security to school choice, the Constitution to the culture war. Made in America. Heard in the Midwest. You're listening to 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
We, without hesitation, recommend that anybody work with ThrottleNet. The experience will be as good as it's been for us, for anybody, because you'll get a true partnership and you'll be able to rest easy that you're going to get the service that you need, while they're also doing all those things that you don't want to have to think about, that you don't want to have to worry about. They're always doing that in the background for you.
Don't wait for your next IT crisis. If your business depends on technology, you need a partner that's got your back. Contact ThrottleNet.com to get a free IT evaluation and see how we can support your IT everything.
Calling all future sportscasters. Sharpen your skills and learn from the best of the Missouri Broadcasters Association Sportscasters Forum, Tuesday, September 16th in St. Louis. Join Cardinals beat reporters, broadcasters, and the legendary John Rooney, the voice of the Cardinals, for insider sessions on play-by-play, interviewing, reporting, and more. Then cap the day with a Cards-Reds game at Busch Stadium. Open to college students and broadcasting pros. Just $10 for students, lunch, and a game ticket. Space is limited. Registered by September 2nd at MissouriBroadcasters.org.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Last year, more clients hired Morgan & Morgan than ever before. We now have more offices, more staff, and more lawyers than any other injury firm in the world, protecting America, fighting for you.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Rooted in faith, grounded in family. We're back with more truth. This is the Annie Fry Show.
So it's an empty house. So hold my hand, I'll walk through, my dear.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. You know, I was I came across a story maybe a week or two ago. Apparently Scott Bessent has a husband and kids. And I think I sent that to you guys. Did you guys know that Scott Bessent was gay?
I did not, and I've never seen that.
The guy who is implementing Donald Trump's economic policies is the Treasury Secretary, right? That's pretty high up in the cabinet. Isn't it amazing? I mean, I don't know how many of you listening right now knew that already. But here's the difference, folks. Scott Bessent is masterful at his job. And he's been masterful in his position as the Secretary of the Treasury. And apparently, it never rose to the occasion where Donald Trump wanted to be like, hey, everybody, guess what about Scott Bessent? That didn't matter. Scott Bessent has just been present and kicking butt and taking names at implementing Donald Trump's strategy, specifically from tariffs, from negotiations with other countries. And he also happens to have this specific kind of demographic attached to his person. Isn't this the way it's supposed to be done? Like, I'm not making it a thing because I want people to know about this. This is how it should be. Scott Bessent's a man. He's living his life in America, and he's really good at what he does, and he got rewarded for that with a really amazing position. Think back to the Joe Biden era. That was all you knew about people. They would get appointed, and then you'd have somebody who was a member of the LGBTQ community or a different race than white or a female or whatever it might be. They would appoint that person. They would tell you their, check the box demographic category that they fulfilled for that cabinet. And then they all run around and just sequentially pat each other on the back. A big circle back pat.
Yep, that's what you'd call it.
Yes. And then they just move on to the next one. Here we are 6.5 months into this. And, it's the story is that they never made it a story. Doesn't that say something about Donald Trump? Like,
Yeah.
how can you be fearful of your existence in Donald Trump's America as a gay person when Donald Trump's Treasury Secretary is a gay person? He's obviously not afraid to be here. That all of this manufactured fear and outrage, like look at the most vocal opposition to Donald Trump. It's all completely and totally emotion-based. And I would say 90% of it is completely bonkers untrue.
So you might not know this, but the media in this country is not real friendly to Donald Trump. And when you have the message bearers of the country willing to just bear any message you want, I mean, that's what the Democrats have had for a long time. That's changing now. But the legacy media, as we call it, they have really just done whatever Democrats want. I mean, they are a propaganda arm for that party. And it's amazing to see that when the shoe is on the other foot now, because I think that he is the highest. Again, it's hard to find information on this because it's not a story. It shouldn't be a story.
It has no bearing on his ability to do his job.
No,
it doesn't. In my mind, it doesn't negate him from being able to do the job. It also doesn't make him any more qualified to do the job. Non-factor. And that is the way. You want to talk about actual equality? This is what actual equality looks like.
Yeah, he is, I think, the highest serving government official ever to be gay. Again, I can't find that information very readily because the media that you're trusting to report on these things just isn't. They don't care because it's Donald Trump. But this is what merit-based hiring looks like. You don't care about their background. You don't care about their race. You care about whether they're able to do a job. And he's doing that job really well.
I can't stress enough how well this makes my point. Scooter, our lovable liberal on the YouTube chat all the time, says Pete Buttigieg, also a gay person, potential presidential candidate in 2 years. Is there any other thing that is qualifying him to be a presidential candidate? Like, I don't have any idea what the fact that Pete Buttigieg being gay has to do with him being a presidential candidate. The whole point is that there's no point. It blew my mind when I found out. Wasn't Scott Bessent in the room when I was in D.C.? Wasn't he the first guy? Like, the first day was Bessent, the second day was Homan?
I don't remember.
It was. In that essence, I've not met him shaking his hand, but it never was an issue. It never was a part of the story. It's not an issue now. But that's, for the Democrats, for Joe Biden, that's like political gold.
Oh, yeah.
It's the number one thing that you should know about Scott Bessent. Forget about the fact that he's super qualified and kicks butt at his job. Did you know who he's married to? And the answer is, I had no idea. And the only reason I care about the story is because this administration shows you what real equality looks like, what actually treating people like human beings and not political poker chips to play, to be like, people like me. Look how good I am. Look what I did for this person. Scott Bessent didn't get there because he's gay. He got there because he's really darn good at what he does. I guess that's the end of the story. 2 o'clock hour, right around the corner. Go vote in the poll. We'll be right back.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. You don't hear fast-talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Story Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Story Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Land Story Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit Lance, DRURYlaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Point Pest Control. You spell point with an E when you go to pointpestcontrol.com. They have a great referral plan going right now in August. And I want you to understand, if you are a current Point Pest Control customer, as I am, I pay quarterly, and have them come out to my home and make sure that we are bug-free. Right now is the time to refer your friends and family, because they're going to get a great discount when you do that. And you are going to get a little kickback as well for being an advocate for Point Pest Control. I think it speaks for itself. It certainly does in my home. We don't have to worry about bugs and spiders and all those things that find their way seasonally into your home. Point Pest Control takes care of that for us. And if there's ever something that comes up in between quarterly treatments, they will come out and handle that for you as well. You can mention my name, Annie. You're going to save an extra 10% on the top of the best deal that they have going for that treatment that you're looking to get. You just got to call them at 636-798-0023. 636-798-0023. That's the number to call, and you can visit them online to learn more at pointpestcontrol.com.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have Leaf Filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/radio for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
5 soldiers are shot and wounded in Georgia. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. The all clear is given now at Fort Stewart. Fox confirms the suspected shooter taken into custody is a U.S. Army sergeant.
The first shots were fired on this massive base at 10:56 a.m. The base immediately went into a complete lockdown. At 11:35, just 40 minutes later, that shooter was captured. Even the schools in the nearby area were locked down during this incident.
Fox's Steve Harrigan. No word on the wounded soldier's conditions, a possible motive for the shooting, or the circumstances surrounding it. A news conference is expected this hour. India's government calls threatened new tariffs unfair, unjustified, and unreasonable, and says there will be a response to protect its national interests.
President Trump is slapping an additional 25% tariff on goods shipped from India, bringing the total tariff rate to 50%. President Trump says the increased charge is a response to India buying oil from Russia. The new tariff will be imposed in 21 days, according to an executive order. President Trump has warned of secondary tariffs targeting Russian trading partners if Moscow fails to agree to a ceasefire in Ukraine.
Fox's Jared Halpern. 2 state House Democrats from Texas are forced to flee their hotel in Illinois.
A bomb threat was made at the Q Center Hotel and Conference Center in St. Charles, Illinois, around 7 a.m. local time, where we're told the Texas Democrats have been staying after fleeing the state to shut down the government over redistricting efforts. St. Charles police confirmed to Fox News the hotel and convention complex were searched and nothing was found. Illinois U.S. Senator Dick Durbin was set to hold a press conference with the Texas Democrats that was canceled. Governor J.B. Pritzker also writing on X that threats of violence will be investigated and that those responsible will be held accountable.
Fox's Jeff Manasso. Texas Governor Greg Abbott's asking the state Supreme Court to remove from office the chairman of the Texas House Democratic Caucus. America's listening to Fox News.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Making the turn to a little bit more summer in our atmosphere, though certainly nothing extreme. Sunny skies. We'll call it warm to hot, just barely. A little more humid, but also just barely. 80s to near 90. 71 for the overnight low. Then on Thursday, sunny, hot, and humid, 92. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, sunny, hot, and humid, 93 each day. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live, sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Time to schedule your air conditioner service. Get not just your AC, but your entire HVAC system checked for $19 a month with the preferred partner plan, and stay cool this summer. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Well, it's Wednesday. I still have to look at my paper to find out what day it is. I think when the kids go back to school, that's going to... There's a little bit more of an ebb and a flow to the week for me when kids are in school. Summer is different. I don't know if everybody has that. Like, if you don't have anybody in your household that is connected to school, does that just go away? None of us know.
We don't know, but I think that it does. I think your schedule starts to be a little hard to remember when you don't have those bench points every day and week.
Kind of like it. I kind of like having like one toe still in the school year calendar.
You like the part where there's no schedule, or you like having a schedule? Which one are you saying?
I like the emphasis on summer as something more than a season.
Yeah. I got a little sad yesterday. I was walking through the grocery store, and I saw their discount display had all the 4th of July. Like, it was like all patriotic things, 50% off.
Yeah.
And I was like, ah.
And then you start seeing the back to school stuff creep in.
Well, it's already there.
Have you seen Halloween stuff in like normal stores?
Yep.
Christmas?
Yep. I've seen a lot of Reese's pumpkins around. They start with the candy
they
first.
Call me. Yeah, that's from Moana. You're what's the best Reese's?
The big cup with caramel. That's easy. Give me a hard question.
Isn't that too sweet?
Oh no. Have you ever had one?
I don't know.
I
don't remember it if I did.
Now they've come out with a regular size Reese's that has caramel in it too now. Also very good. But the big cups with the caramel, that is a candy masterpiece.
I used to love caramel. Everything caramel was the go-to, but I find it to be too sweet now.
Well, sorry about that. Sorry you lost your first love.
I'm not. One of us is kind of diabetic.
Yeah.
Are you still avoiding added sugar?
I am. I'm doing pretty good. I don't know what, 6, almost 7 weeks maybe now. I'm doing pretty good though. I am eating added sugar on the weekends to give me a break because
give you a break.
It's hard. It's very difficult because again, this is my first love and I don't want to give it up. But I am doing it for my health. Here's the thing.
Does that say 0 sugar on it? Pepsi.
Show the camera.
I've never seen cherry Pepsi 0 sugar.
0 sugar. It's very good.
It's very good.
Yeah, I've had to really kind of hit the bottom of the ocean here and see what I can find. And that's the best that I can find right now. But listen to this.
Going to
the other
great
day,
depths.
this is a big deal for me. You know, I'm really trying to stay on the wagon here. And the other day, Brad walks into my office.
You're going to blame me for
this?
this.
No.
He walks into my office after the show, holding the leftovers of not just a cheesecake, but a cheesecake that's covered in Twix pieces and Snickers and stuff.
Where did it come from?
I don't know.
It was a office thing.
It was an office thing, and it was the rest of this cheesecake. And he goes, "Man, there is no way I'm going to be able to finish this by myself."
I said, Ryan, what kind of cake do you think this is?
Brad, did you just say, are you going to put this on me? Is that what you said? Is that what he
Yeah,
said?
he said, "Are you going to put this on me?"
What is the alternative?
Yeah, I'm sitting there doing work in my office.
Mr. avoids added sugar on weekdays.
Yeah, he doesn't ever eat it.
Brad's like, you put this on me?
Yeah, he's grabbing handfuls of it, just kind of
Smearing
rubbing
it
it
on
all
his
over
face.
himself. He's like, "Oh man, I didn't even notice this."
I
is
said,
here.
Ryan, what kind of cheesecake is this? I said, is this cheesecake? And he goes, I don't know. It doesn't look like it. And we had a debate about whether or not it was cheesecake. And so we settled on, I'll have to try it. And he's like, no, stay here. I want to watch you eat it.
I did say that. And I did watch him eat it. And then I broke my fast for the first time during a weekday because I couldn't handle it. And it's all because of him.
I told him, you better not, but he did it anyway.
Yeah, you better not, now that I'm here. Isn't this ridiculous? He did this. And I said, are you doing this
I feel like
to be mean?
I feel like I unintentionally put a wrong letter in the website I was trying to get to, and I saw something I wasn't supposed to.
I know. Yeah, it was very sad.
I offered him an alternative. I said, so if you eat this today, then you just skip like whatever it is, Saturday or whatever,
Ryan,
with the added sugar.
That's what the devil would say. That's exactly how that's how the devil's like, I got something for you.
Yeah.
We can make this work.
Brad walked into my office and he goes, "You should not eat this cheesecake. God knows if you eat it, you'll be like him."
Jackie said that was a Temu effort.
It was bad.
You ate it?
I did. I was like, I can't not. This thing looks amazing. It was really good.
Do you know where it's from? You want to give him a shout out?
No, where was it?
I don't know.
We don't know.
There was no label on the.
It was
on the
left
top
over
of
from
it.
the office. Somebody brought it in.
You ate a rando cheesecake that was laying around the office,
So did
and it was
Brad.
the best. Well, I know, but
there was an email.
You claim to have standards.
No, I do not.
You brag all the time about avoiding
Who
added
in the
sugar.
world do you think
Well,
I am?
I don't believe you, but you certainly brag about it.
I do not ever claim to have standards. If I do, it's facetious. Brad claims to have standards, and he doesn't even eat.
Now Ryan's like, everybody's in on the joke, Annie. I thought you were too.
You're missing out. Brad doesn't eat unhealthy almost ever and decides in this moment, this is my time right now. And I'm going to go do this in front of Ryan and tell him that he would be remiss if he didn't show it to me as he was
Why'd
eating.
you do that to him, Brad?
No, I thought it would be funny.
Well,
I guess that was true. It
that's
was kind of
logic
funny.
that you should be able to understand, Ryan.
I do. I kind of appreciate that.
I did offer him an alternative though. If he eats the cheesecake, just skip a different day that you would normally have added sugar. And
That's
then
not
it
something
balances
you
out.
can offer him.
I know, yeah.
No, you gave him temptation.
Ah, thank you for the offer. I'm going to have to really consider this.
That's not like you're like, but I'll give you $100.
Take this back to my agent and we'll get back to you.
He's in a
I
closet.
mean, I could have just ate the cake and
motorboating the cheesecake.
Just taken the cheesecake out of the office and just let him watch me eat it.
You guys are certifiably weird.
Yes.
Hey, I didn't ask for this.
I didn't ask for this.
You brought it up.
The conversation, I'm talking about the thing that happened. I did not ask you to do that.
Quick
you just
Rick
walked in.
says Annie doesn't offer Ryan oatmeal cream pies anymore, does she? No, I do not. Because I don't want to be an enabler. And I used to give you a 2 o'clock 1:45 oatmeal cream pie to ensure that I didn't have to do as much talking in the 2 o'clock hour. And I have stopped doing that because I care about you.
If you really cared about me, you'd show up with a box of them on the weekend when I can eat them.
No, I care about you Monday through Friday.
I think that's evident.
I choked in this. My throat hurts.
Just because I was thinking of you, and I want credit that
Thinking
I've
of me
been so
or Brad?
thoughtful.
Because
No,
Brad
you.
was thinking of you the other day, and we saw what that looked like.
I came up with a really great gift idea for you, and so don't go in my office because I've got it up on my screen right now, and I'm like, ooh, I need to get this now so I don't forget for Christmas. Separate story. I'm going to tell a separate story now.
Wait. 0 out of 10. How much? Listen, it is historically documented on this show in word and in video that what you think is a really great gift for me does not require me to be interested in said gift when I get it.
Sometimes it does. Sometimes.
You look at getting me gifts as an experience and an endeavor in entertainment for yourself.
Sometimes. But other times, I'm like, man, I think I hit a home run here.
One of the best gifts I've ever been given was the photo album from the year that I went to Disney World the first time, and I have dated like all the Disney World photo albums that I have like the year on them. And I think it was 2018. I didn't have one, and you found one, and you gave it to me for Christmas, and it was incredibly thoughtful. You also gave me a T-shirt that was like a size extra small that had like Che Guevara or something on it. And you got it. You got stuck with it in a white elephant gift exchange, and you got it, and you're like, I would love to give this to Annie. That is a wide spectrum of gift giving, sir.
And one of those is a slam dunk in a mascot costume from a trampoline. And the other one is falling face first into some poop. But you got to admit that when I'm able to get on the trampoline and really slam it, that I can. And the other one,
I'm not.
The other one was.
I don't want to confuse analogies here. So can we get back into speaking into plain terms?
No. I also got you a sweatshirt that said Orphan Annie's on
Yes,
it.
that was very thoughtful.
Because there's a school in Central Illinois that their mascot was the Orphan Annie's.
Centralia.
And I had to call them and go through all their office protocol.
I had
and
said
everything.
on the air that it was a bucket list thing for me to own some Orphan Annie merch. And you got it for me.
The
Check
next
that.
time I got you
Now
a thing of root beer.
You were thinking, oh man, that case is sitting on the bar downstairs right where I put it.
Oh, your family could drink it. You don't have to hold it out for yourself.
Did you have another story you wanted to tell before we break?
I do. I, on Twitter, experienced some shame recently because there was a trend going on where everybody was asking Grok, hey, Grok, who's the most famous person I've interacted with? And so
no.
You didn't know. I haven't told you this.
I don't know what you're talking about.
And so I was like, oh, sweet. Hey, Grok, who's the most famous person that's ever looked at my account? And it was like, the most famous person that's ever looked at your account is Annie Frey.
Oh, I couldn't pay Grok to do that.
A conservative talk show host in St. Louis, Missouri. And I'm like,
it really said
you
that?
gotta be freaking kidding me. Oh, yeah. It said all this. And it described who you were.
What
and
did it say
how
about
long
me?
you've been on. Just all the typical BS.
Did it list everything that has helped make me a success?
Yes, it did. And I didn't want to read any of it because the minute I saw it, I'm like, this is not the point of this stupid exercise. Why did this happen? I was looking for, Vanilla Ice or some rando.
Is this on X right now?
I think so. I'd have to go dig back because it was a couple weeks ago. And then you were out, and I'm like, oh,
How
I didn't get
sad
to
were
bring it
you?
up. Oh, I was mad because I thought this is a really fun endeavor. And then to see that.
Can
I'm
I
like,
do
really?
that right now? Can I tweet at Grok and ask it to tell me who?
I think so.
Is that real?
Yeah. It's real because lots of people were posting theirs. But you know what I should have done is just said, who's the second famous? And it probably would have been like, balls.
Oh, I love it. It's good to know you, Ryan Wiggins.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
On a scale of, was it Che Guevara? Is that who it was?
Yeah, it was Che Guevara.
Is on a scale of Che Guevara to the photo album that I wasn't even sure actually existed, and you went and found it. Whatever's up on your computer screen right now, where's it land? One side or the other?
Right now it's a 5.
I
gotta do it. It's because it involves
I gotta
some
go to a
digging.
break. I'm gonna go look at his computer. I'll be right back.
Don't.
We have here in St. Louis, just a note, most air conditioners aren't set or able to handle 100 degrees without running constantly. So before you freak out and think your air conditioner is bad, here's a few tips. If you don't have ceiling fans in your bedrooms, you can get pedestal fans and put them in your room. Keep those running all the time. On a second-story house, put one pedestal fan on top of your steps and blow it into the foyer area up high so it's cooling the heat as it's coming up and circulating the air. If you have an attic fan, simple quick fix, plastic bag, cut it up, and duct tape, because what's happening is it's sucking in all your attic air and the heat and humidity from the outside. Try those things before you call anybody or you call me. But if you did that, please call me, Bart Inman, 314-293-2600. Remember, 0% financing is available for most up to 60 months. God bless.
Are you nearing retirement and don't know if you have enough money saved to retire? That is scary. Do you have a written retirement financial plan in place? Well, when it comes to retirement planning, the trusted team at Financial and Tax Architects are the best. They've helped people all over St. Louis retire with confidence. And that's what you want. You want to retire with confidence. Now, they offer a one-night, 2.5-hour adult education class called Retirement Planning 101. They hold these at colleges over the St. Louis area and in Illinois. No cost, no obligation, just learning. And at this class, you learn how to avoid costly mistakes, how to maximize your income, how to reduce taxes in retirement. So call them today, 314-888-5101, or visit fta-ria.com and take the first step toward a smarter retirement. 314-888-5101.
Viking. Dedicated to creating travel experiences for the thinking person, with programs designed for cultural enrichment on board and on shore. Discover more at Viking.com. That's Viking.com. Viking.com.
RulerFoods.com. Shop at Ruler Foods and save on your grocery bill. It's really that simple. They always have extra specials that are going on that you can enjoy, even lower prices than what you're used to shopping at Ruler Foods. And I always love to highlight some of these things for you so that you can understand the little extra emphasis on why should I go to Ruler Foods right now, especially if you've always driven by and you're like, that's the place Annie talks about. You haven't found the time. Find the time. Make an event out of it. It doesn't have to be grocery shopping day. It can just be, I'm gonna go check out what Annie's been talking about for so long. How about eggs to lure you in? A breakfast essential at a price that you're gonna love. $1.99 a dozen for Kroger Grade A large eggs. Jack's Pizza, 3 for $10. We were trying to figure out what to do for dinner last night, and we had just passed Ruler Foods, and I have suggested that we run in there and grab some Jack's Pizza for the family. We will certainly be doing that here this week. You can save on these types of groceries that you care about. You can also load up on delicious, fresh produce. Red and white seedless grapes, only $1.88 a pound. 18-ounce packs of juicy blueberries, $2.99 each. And if you're looking to stock up on ground beef, super versatile, especially for a family like ours. We can't ever have too much ground beef in the freezer. Kroger 80% lean ground beef you can enjoy for $4.99 a pound. Ruler Foods, they're all over the bi-state region, but you can find them online at rulerfoods.com.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Range. It's the Annie Fry Show.
I see your dirty face, hide behind your collar. What is done in vain? Truth is hard to swallow, so you pray to God to justify the way you live a lie, live a lie, live a lie. And it's hold up.
Check it out. Sports and local.
Ethan Hannaford's segment on the Annie Fry Show.
Palate cleanser. Better be good.
At least he actually used your name.
Ethan Hannaford's segment on the Annie Fry Show. Isn't that creative?
Sports and local.
You've outdone yourself, Ryan. You've outdone yourself.
When I get fired from this job one day, I'm just going to get a job being a robot voice.
Okay. That's not that easy to do.
I have a resume doing it. Remember, I did the St. Louis Blues home opener.
Oh, that's right.
As computer lady.
Announce some Blues names.
Get on your feet.
Name one.
Blaze.
Nope.
That's an American Gladiator.
I don't want to pick just one because I love them all.
Gemini.
Laser.
Don't put me on the spot.
Paul
like that.
Cavaletti.
Is this?
Wasn't it Gino?
I think they were brothers. Anyway.
Is it my turn now?
Are these jokes?
My turn, just talking my segment.
We're having a good
Ethan
time.
Hannaford's segment. Missouri drivers will be seeing some changes here in the next couple of years, and the most notable one being the discontinuance of temporary tags. This comes after the passage of the Senate
What are
Bill
they going to
28.
complain about now?
Yeah, good question. Crime, which will take in effect on August 28th. The change in paying vehicle sales tax will be implemented once the second phase of this new Department of Revenue.
Do you know what the process is right now? I mean, we're all Illinois people. The
I'm an Illinois person as far as my tags go too.
Yeah.
So I don't.
The expired temporary tag thing is a huge deal here.
Is it?
Oh my gosh.
You ever gotten pulled over for it?
It's not elsewhere?
I have a story to tell, and I haven't not told this story because I've been avoiding it, but it just never ended up coming up. People drive in Missouri for years with expired tags, with temporary plates, or do you get a new plate every time? Because don't you have to do it every 2 years in Missouri, I think? You have to do it every 2 years. In Illinois, you have to do it every year.
Mm-hmm.
It is an epidemic. Doesn't KMOX, is this like the top story that they cover? Is temp tags? Like, people take pictures and they tweet them at KMOX and stuff like that. It's a really, really big deal. They go years and they don't re-register their cars in Missouri. In Illinois, my tags on my van expired at the end of May. So in June, I needed to have new tags. I got pulled over in Troy, Illinois on, I believe it was June 3rd.
That's crazy.
3 days expired. And I had the sheet, and I had just looked at it within the last 48 hours before I got pulled over. The sheet that was in my car that said you need to get, I was going to do it online. I went to do it online so I would have it done in time. I needed an emissions test. Of course I do. So I couldn't do it then. So I looked on the sheet that got mailed to me, and it said you have until June 30th to take care of this before you incur a fee. So I was like, okay, I got to get to it. My husband and I had been talking about it. We have to switch cars so he could take it while he's off of school. Whole big thing to go get the emissions test, blah, blah, blah. 3 days in the state of Illinois, I got pulled over by a very nice police officer. He was very kind, and he's like, I'm not going to give you a ticket today. And I'm like, no, you're not. I didn't say it like that. I was grateful that I had.
Thank you, officer.
Shut up. Don't do Ryan Wiggins impressions here on this show about me. When I was getting pulled over, I had all three of my daughters in the car, and Jensen's like, "Why are you getting pulled over?" I'm like, "I have no idea," because I wasn't speeding. I hadn't. There was no other reason to do it. My 9-year-old in the back of the car was like on the verge of tears because she thought I was going to get arrested and take it away. Molly had her headphones on and watching Frozen. She was fine. And he comes up and it's my tag. He's like, yeah, you're just going to... There was nothing wrong with him pulling me over. There was no negative anything. I gave him my stuff. He checked it. You're good to go. Just get those. Okay, fine. And I thought, in Illinois, you're within your window of okay time to replace them, and I'm getting pulled over. And in Missouri, years that people drive, and I guess just get away with it.
I saw 2023 the other day.
I was a few months late on putting mine on this past year, but I drive in Missouri and never had an issue, never got pulled over or anything.
Carrie just commented, Troy pulled me over within a week of my sticker expiring too, and I know who Carrie is, and I met Carrie the night I got pulled over at a baseball game in Troy.
Troy?
That's why I was in there.
What are we doing, Troy?
Carrie.
No kidding, Troy.
It's probably the same guy. He's like working really hard. Super nice.
So anyway, this change is still a couple of years away because they're waiting on, basically the Department of Revenue is getting a new system that is going to combine a bunch of their old systems with their new systems. That's the simplest way to put it, and it's going to be a little bit of a process to get to that point. So still a couple of years away, but once that system is in place, vehicle buyers in Missouri will be required to pay sales tax at the point of the sale when they purchase through a dealership. If the car is purchased privately, buyers will continue to take their bill of sale to any Missouri license office to pay sales tax. Once the purchase is complete in both scenarios, buyers will get a paper copy of their new license plate, and a permanent metal plate with the same number configuration will be mailed to the buyer. Buyers will no longer receive or will have the option of getting a temporary tag.
All right.
Missouri.
Missouri they're like, show me your taxes.
You guys state fair people. Anyone here? Anyone like
I like state fairs. I like the food.
I like county fairs.
What a surprise.
I like county fairs
deep
too.
fried anything.
Yeah.
You like them for the food too?
I do.
Have you guys ever been to the Illinois State Fair? Anyone?
Yes.
Not. I might go this year. When is
I
it?
think I have.
It is coming up the weekend of the 15th through the 17th.
Got to see the butter cow.
I was having a little conversation with Gianna Caldwell, and people have talked about him possibly running for Senate in the state of Illinois, and he said he's going to be a keynote speaker on Republican Day at the Illinois State Fair.
Oh, nice.
Which I was thinking about. When is it? The 8th and 9th?
No, the 15th through the 17th.
Ooh, I don't have anything on my calendar.
Heyo. So another reason to go, the Illinois Treasurer, Michael Frericks, is going to be hosting a live unclaimed property auction on that Saturday at the Lincoln Stage on the Illinois State Fairgrounds. This is going to include some pretty interesting items, including baseball cards featuring Ryan Sandberg, Ken Griffey Jr. when they were rookies, as well as cards of Ernie Banks, Mickey Mantle, Johnny Bench, basketball cards with Will Chamberlain, a 10-ounce Johnson Matthey .999 fine gold bar, and there's a few other things on this as well, an 18-karat yellow gold Hermes man's chain bracelet. So if you're interested in trying to cop a deal, then head on out to the Illinois State Fair.
That's Mecca for Ryan Wiggins.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I'm going to go bid on that 18-ounce Johnson thing. And that Ryan Sandberg card.
Rest in peace.
Uh-huh.
Rest in peace. Should I keep going or should we just sit in this for a second?
I can't do
I don't know what to do. Illinois holds more than $5 billion in unclaimed property, according to the Treasurer's Office, and just under $2.5 billion have been returned during Frerich's tenure. So there's that for you. Ryan's going to go buy a Johnson thing.
It sounded like it was a gold bar. So I was going to bid on it no matter what.
I think you're conflating stories.
No? Was it gold?
It was a gold bar.
18-ounce Johnson gold bar?
10-ounce.
10-ounce Johnson gold bar.
Very heavy.
It's like a WNBA game.
Heavy.
Heavy
you
and
ever
large.
seen Gold Member?
What'd you say?
Never mind. It wasn't his best work, although it was better than Love Guru.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
We get it. Attention spans just aren't what they used to be. Heads in social media and eyes on Netflix. But what do people do with their ears? Well, for one, they're listening to audio. Americans spend 4.4 hours with audio every day. Oh, and you want the proof? Well, you just sat through this ad that's now approaching 30 seconds. What could you say to a potential customer in 30 seconds? Let Odyssey put together a media plan tailor-made for your unique marketing needs. Advertise with Odyssey. Visit ads.odyssey.com.
If it's time for new windows, there's only one place to call. That is Window World. Mark Cox here. Call my friends at Window World at 314-993-1800 for your free estimate today. If you have any questions, they'll be glad to send someone out to explain all of it to you. You can even schedule right online at windowworldstl.com. You know, there's a lot of high-interest financing out there, but here's what Window World's doing. Right now, they're offering 18 up to 36 months, same as cash financing with approved credit. You can't beat that. You also get a lifetime warranty that covers all of the parts, the glass breakage, and labor. Who else stands behind their product like that? Over half the appointments Window World will set this year are from previous customers or referrals from those customers. That is a testimony to their customer service, their quality, and their commitment to creating loyal customers. That's what you get with Window World. Call them at 314-993-1800, windowworldstl.com.
If you've been thinking about losing weight, you've heard a lot of these stories, the peptides that you can access, semaglutide, tirzepatide. I can tell you that Infinite Vitality has what you need, and they can help you in a guided, smart, medically supervised fashion to lose the weight. I'm with them right now, and I use the tirzepatide for them. You could, for $400, get a 2-month starting special with new patients. Now, make sure you mention the Annie Fry Show, too, when you go there, because you're going to get a $50 credit just by throwing my name out there. Have the conversation right now. That number being out there, $400, that helps you know going in what you are going to be expected. 618-486-1888. I want you to think about this. Break that down to $200 a month. Add that $50 credit in there from mentioning my name. What would you give to be down potentially 16 pounds, maybe more, by the time that 2 months is over? Patients consistently lose 8 pounds a month. And I can say from my experience, that is what I have achieved in the first month of working with Infinite Vitality. They use a 3D imaging system to monitor success, help watch your body change so you can see exactly what's happening. Just give them a call at 618-486-1888. 618-486-1888. Infinite-vitality.com.
The YouTube live chat poll today is about scandals. Which scandal are you most interested in getting the full story of? Is it Russiagate, Epstein, Autopen, or COVID? These are the 4 that you have the choice of. We'll give you the results of this poll at the end of the hour, 2:33. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
JerryKelly.com. Consistently right.
It's a ritual.
97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
The scandals abound right now, and they've been going. These are stories that we've been talking about literally for years, right? The ones that just were listed there by Ryan. The Russia hoax, the Epstein files. I mean, that's been going on for a super long time. You also have the Autopen scandal, wondering who knew what and when about how much Joe Biden was not capable of doing his job. And then, of course, COVID, which I feel like is kind of a lurker in the back, where we're going to find out more about those first 3, and then potentially we're going to have some exposure as to the origins of COVID, how it happened, who knew what, when, and why, and how. Let's listen to John Solomon. Just in general, this Russia hoax story is really starting to get some legs.
This is a major development. We told you last week that Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, had given permission for a strike force to begin. That's a very specific tool the Justice Department uses on major conspiracies. And we told you then we would know it was getting serious when the grand jury jumped into action. We now know that a grand jury will be impaneled. Most likely, my sources are telling me, it could be in Florida, where the raid of President Trump's Mar-a-Lago home happened. So that is the very latest. You can check it out at Just News. We're going to have a whole lot more on that over the course of the next years.
So John Solomon reporting on the developments there. If that ends up going in Florida, that is going to be a huge game changer in how this whole story will play out. You could actually potentially get a fair trial there. I'm looking right now at James Comer's tweet from yesterday, his post on X from yesterday morning. James Comer, who is the chairman on the Oversight Committee, he put this out on X yesterday. The House Oversight Committee is compelling the following individuals to appear for depositions through issued subpoenas. Listen to this list. Former U.S. Attorney General Eric Holder, September 30th. Former U.S. Attorney General Loretta Lynch, September 9th. Former FBI Director Robert Mueller, September 2nd. Former U.S. Attorney General Jeff Sessions, August 28th. Former U.S. Attorney General Alberto Gonzales, August 26th. Former U.S. Attorney General Bill Barr, August 18th. October is when things start to pop. Former FBI Director James Comey, October 7th. Former U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland, October 2nd. Former President Bill Clinton, October 14th. Former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, October 9th. This stuff is happening. I think that these are probably going to be behind closed doors.
I don't know.
I would assume that there's national security implications that would require that to happen. Do you want it to be public or do you want it to be private?
I want it to be public because I want people to pay attention to it. And I think there's a lot of people who are trying to brush this under the rug, and it needs to have constant attention. The facts of the cases need to be constantly presented because we all live through it. We all have preconceived notions about it, but we need to hear the real facts that the DNI has, that these people might testify to. Although I will say this, if it were behind closed doors, what you really need to get somebody on is you got to have such incontrovertible evidence that somebody's willing to flip and just start talking. That's how you really bring something down.
If the testimonies are public, that means that the other people who are going to be questioned are going to be able to observe these testimonies. I don't want them to be able to know what is being said behind closed doors. This really comes down to, do you trust the people leading the investigation? And I have a very hard time putting my faith and trust into politicians in Washington, D.C., because it seems like they always end up doing what's best for them, not what's best for the American people. But the movement that has gotten us to this point is one that is holding a bright and hot spotlight on providing truth to the American people. And there are Republicans and Democrats alike on that list. I'm very curious to see what comes out of these testimonies. But the last thing that I want to have happen is that we go through all of this as some sort of political campaign commercial inducing clip getting. I don't want to watch in the initial questioning that comes from these subpoenas. I don't want to watch Republican go, then Democrat go, then Republican go, and then Democrat go, where everything is about the cameras that are present. There's grandstanding for Republicans. There's grandstanding for Democrats. The witness is grandstanding. I don't want that. I want facts and information, and I want them. If it's a subpoena, doesn't that mean it'd be under oath?
We've had this discussion. I still don't know the answer to that.
I want compelled testimony that goes under the record that can be compiled with the compelled testimony of these other players so that we can get a full, airtight understanding of what took place.
Wrinkle in this, do we know for sure that they're being subpoenaed for Russiagate, or is it for Epstein, or is it for both?
The tweet from Comer doesn't say, but my understanding is that it is Russia related. But I think that, that's the thing. Like, when you're asking these questions and these individuals, Hillary Clinton have to come testify in these capacities. If it's about one particular scandal, they could absolutely be giving over information that fills in some blank spaces on another scandal. Our YouTube poll is asking which scandal you're most interested in getting the full story. And we're asking Russia, Epstein, Autopen, or COVID. But let's see. Betsy says, I went with Autopen as well. However, all the above, Epstein being last, as I'm just tired of it. I think that if you uncover, somebody said something about like the Autopen scandal, if you uncover the truth behind that, it's going to cause the rats to scatter. I think that's very much so true. And once people are not able to exist in a kind of cloaked version of government that just kind of exists, power gets handed over back and forth from one person to the next, from one party to the next, and there's just steady train. You want to be able to have a functioning government that can withstand the transfer of power. But it has to serve the people. And the purpose of this bureaucracy has not been to serve the people. It's been to serve the bureaucracy. It's just like when we have Congressman Bost on here, and he's talking about the VA, because he chairs the VA committee, or the Veterans Committee, Veterans Affairs Committee. And we always get people on here like, oh, they cut jobs. And he's like, the Veterans Affairs organization serves the veterans. It doesn't exist to serve the existence of the committee. The perpetuation of a committee's own power, if that's the only point that any committee serves, it doesn't need to be there. If there is a constituency, an American citizenship, an American, a group of marginalized Americans or whatever that needs to be served by the existence of a government committee, then that is the purpose of that committee. It can't exist simply to serve itself. And so much of government ends up doing that. And it really seems like if you were, the idea of the deep state or the swamp, that certainly was something that was entered into our political conversation during the swamp before Donald Trump won his first term. It kind of painted this picture of like a division in what we know to be true and what is real, and then there's a big curtain. There's a lot behind the curtain. And when you know that the curtain exists, but you don't get to see what's behind the curtain, you can come up with enormous fabrications and conspiracies of whatever your mind's desire is, or whatever crazy things that get put out there on social media. Like, all of that stuff can be put out there, and when the curtain is still closed and you know the curtain is there, you can make of it whatever you want it to be, whatever entertains you, whatever becomes your hobby. I think that the biggest thing that this second term of Donald Trump's administration has done is said, there's the curtain. And we can see the silhouettes of who's on the other side. Now we need to know, without equivocation, with factual, firm evidence, what those silhouettes, those people who we recognize, we need to know what they did. And I don't know if it's the Russia situation or if it's the Autopen situation specifically. I don't know if one of those exposes more than the other. I almost feel like Russia was the first potentially super bold hoax that this collection of people was willing to try and think that we can get away with this. We can do this. We've got all the right people in all the right places. We can put this into play. We can win with this. And of course we'll get away with it. We've got all the right players in all the right places. That was supposed to make Donald Trump lose and therefore Hillary Clinton win. And it didn't work. Did they perfect it over the course of Donald Trump's first term so that come 2020, even Joe Biden could become elected president? I see the curtain. I know who the players are. And I want to know how much they were able to affect in this amount of time. And I'm really torn between Russiagate and Autopen. You said you were torn between Autopen and what?
Epstein.
What about you, Brad?
I'm Russiagate all the way. I'm not torn between any of them. I look at Russiagate, and Russiagate is where they weaponized the agencies that we're supposed to trust. It was the CIA, the FBI. It was law enforcement. You're weaponizing the DOJ, and they took what was a failed attempt to help Hillary win and turn it into just an absolute albatross around Donald Trump's neck around his whole presidency. We didn't get to see exactly what Donald Trump could have done because he was constantly fighting off all of these allegations from something that at the very root of it wasn't true, and it was supported by the existing government at the time. The Obama administration made it happen. And when you weaponize the government against your political opponents, when you weaponize the government against the people, because we saw what happened under Biden and the weaponization of the government against Catholics, against pro-life people, against everybody. That to me is the beginning of tyranny, and that is the thing that scares me the most out of any of this is tyranny.
David Payton says Russiagate is a scandal of a lifetime. The other ones are trivial. They might be. I don't think that I would make this argument. They might be trivial, relatively speaking, but all of these are scandals of a lifetime. It's just that there are so many who have entered the chat at the same time that we're trying to pick which one is the biggest. That's what we are asking you to do. Come join us on the Annie Fry YouTube channel and vote in the YouTube live chat poll. We'll get the results with Ethan when we come back. Don't go away.
Pass it to me, baby. Well, pass it to me slow. We'll take time out to smile a little before you let it go. 'Cause we're gonna lay around the shanty, mama, and put a good buzz on.
Stewart's American Mortgage and the Bagel Loan, 314-324-4440. I'm always talking to Stewie about my trying to build a house, and I'm always asking him, like, what's the smart thing to do here? I want to encourage you as well. If the Bagel Loan can help you, he's going to tell you that. You can't get a Bagel Loan anywhere else, just with Stewie. Stewart's American Mortgage. The Bagel Loan is his. You can Google the Bagel Loan, and you can get connected to him right away. But you're going to get honest advice from Stewie. He's not looking to take advantage of you. He just has the best deal in town, which is a mortgage, a new mortgage or a refinance that you can get with $0 in closing costs, potentially thousands of dollars staying in your pocket so that you can improve your financial situation, be it on the current mortgage that you have if you want to refi it, take some cash out. If you've bought the house and had a higher rate when you had to lock that one in and now they've come down a bit, maybe you want to lock in a lower rate right now. Or if you're looking to purchase a home, you can't miss an opportunity to get the best deal on a mortgage, and it is with the Bagel Loan with Stewart's American Mortgage. 314-324-4440. Google the Bagel Loan, NMLS number 226715.
The Mark Cox Morning Show.
Can you remember the last time we had a president in the Oval Office who worked so hard every day to bring wins to the American people?
Weekdays from 5 to 9. St. Louis Conservative.
Hurt in a motorcycle accident? You need someone who knows St. Louis, who's about St. Louis. You need Kaufman Townsley, your hometown injury lawyers. We're here for real people with real results. Kaufman Townsley, St. Louis Injury Lawyers. Call 314-500-5000.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/radio for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how to link to the market without the risk. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go online to retirementkey.com.
Calling all future sportscasters. Sharpen your skills and learn from the best of the Missouri Broadcasters Association Sportscasters Forum, Tuesday, September 16th in St. Louis. Join Cardinals beat reporters, broadcasters, and the legendary John Rooney, the voice of the Cardinals, for insider sessions on play-by-play, interviewing, reporting, and more. Then cap the day with a Cards-Reds game at Busch Stadium. Open to college students and broadcasting pros. Just $10 for students, lunch, and a game ticket. Space is limited. Registered by September 2nd at MissouriBroadcasters.org.
With conviction and clarity, The Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Here's a question for you, and I'm going to throw this up here on the YouTube live stream so people can see the meme that I'm talking about. But Mario Lopez, I love Mario Lopez's Twitter. He's a really good job at it. He says, pro marriage tip, when she's done scrolling, you're done scrolling. How often do you find yourself, in the evening, everything's kind of wrapped up for the day. Maybe you're sitting around the house or whatever, watching TV. Are you on your phone?
Sometimes.
I mean, I'm almost always.
I'm hit and miss because I try to not, but I end up doing it.
Is she?
Yes, but she doesn't have a phone so much as she has a small iPad, and she's on that a lot.
So she's on that.
It's kind of, yeah.
Because it's not like you're talking on the phone.
No.
When we say, when kids are like, I want a phone, it's like, no, you want a portable computer.
Mm-hmm.
What about you guys, Brad?
I am on my phone a lot. And I think that my wife wishes that I was on my phone less, and I need to do better at being on my phone less. But
what do you think about this, Ryan, to suggest that if you're spending time on the couch together, first of all, do you put your kids to bed in the summer? Do they have like a bedtime where they go to bed and you guys are able to
It's a lot looser, but we still do.
What time do your kids go to bed?
In the summer, 10, 15.
Consistently?
The rest of the year, it's like 9.
And what time do you guys go to bed?
10:30. 11.
So you're not putting the kids to bed early so you can spend some time together.
Not really. No. In the winter we do, or in the non-summer we do. But that's more because they just have to wake up so early. It's not so that we can spend time together.
Who's more likely to go to bed first, you or your wife?
Me. 100%.
Really?
You just leave her
yeah.
by herself?
No. We have been sleeping in the same room more because I'm not snoring as much now. And I didn't know how much earlier I went to bed than she does until just recently. But apparently I do.
Do you pay attention to the fact, well, she's on her phone, so I guess I'll be on my phone?
Yes.
That makes a difference.
Mm-hmm.
What about you guys?
Do I pay attention? No. I don't look and see if my wife is on the phone, on her phone before I get on mine. But she also goes to bed a lot sooner than I do.
We don't really have rules in our house in the summer. It's kind of a free-for-all. I remember summer just being... I grew up with it kind of being loose, like we could stay up late. Our parents would send us to bed, I guess, eventually, but it usually ended up because we fell asleep downstairs. It's like, okay, time to move this up to your bedroom. We had bedtimes. I think I had a bedtime through maybe even my senior year of high school. Like the bedtime was 10, but it wasn't really something that was contentious. It's just like I would go up to my room around 10, and then I had such a hard time falling asleep always. But we'll be sitting in the living room at night. These days lately, I can tell the kids are like trying to fit in they want to soak in every ounce of school. Doesn't happen tomorrow morning. I get home. We've had volleyball practice this week, so that's started back up again, which has been super fun. But then we get home and it's like, can we watch a movie? Do you want to play Fortnite? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? And I have to keep reminding myself that they just want to spend time with me. That's a key part here. But if everybody finally gets to the point where everybody's kind of settled down, I hope they're not listening right now. I know they are. I try to watch really boring YouTube so they fall asleep.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. My kids know a whole lot about building a home. It's like,
oh, man.
I remember my parents watching This Old House on Channel 9, and now I don't even know if they like that show. I think they were trying to get rid of me. I can't remember the theme song, but as soon as I heard it, I'd have PTSD from This Old House.
Oh, I did that with MASH. The theme song came on for MASH.
Oh, man.
It's like, oh.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been trying to do that, and the kids are like, I think last night or the night before, they're like, well, when Mom gets done with this, maybe we can watch a movie. It was like 11 o'clock. And I was like, gosh dang it, I just need to do it. But this is all before my husband's sitting on his end of the couch. I'm sitting on mine. We've got kids laying on top of us, and we're scrolling. And I think to myself, we should put the phone away. But then I also think, it's summer. We're all relaxing in here in the room together. Maybe it's okay.
It's okay until you start thinking about your oldest heading off to college.
You're such a jerk.
Yeah, one more point to make here.
Ethan!
And this is a positive one. It's
Go back to your producer nook.
You will have moments of joy.
Moments? That's it? I just wait for moments?
Your kid is in a new environment once you drop him off for college in a different state maybe.
Oh.
But they're excited about the classes.
Maybe across the country.
They're living independently. Maybe even Lindenwood.
I can't breathe.
They've done a few loads of laundry on their own. There are things that you can find joy in.
Why is everything a shade of blue?
When you drop your kid off at college this fall. There's not a lot, but there are things that you can find joy in.
One or two.
You guys suck.
Maybe.
You don't have to drop your kid off at college yet. That's coming.
I'm mad at you.
This is just something to think about for a couple years.
Really
now.
mad at Ethan. Give us the results of the pool. You're breaking my heart. You call your mother tonight and tell her how much you appreciate her.
One was on a platter, Annie. 275 votes on today's YouTube live chat poll. Which scandal are you most interested in getting the full story on?
Ethan Gate and his mother. That's the scandal.
That is not in the options here. What is Russiagate. It gets 43% of the vote. 27% goes to the Autopen story, and then 16% to Epstein and 15% to COVID.
Wow. So Autopen and Russiagate, those are the two I was torn between. They got the lead, but obviously y'all are interested in all of it, and so are we. We'll continue to cover it here on 97.1 FM Talk. And hand it over to the Mark Reardon Show. Don't go away.
Attention St. Louis Medicaid residents in need of care at home. If you need assistance with daily activities, you can receive in-home care from a loved one that lives with you and they get paid. Through Medicaid, Freedom Care allows you to choose who provides your care at home in St. Louis and they get paid weekly. Available to eligible Medicaid members in St. Louis. Call now to check your eligibility. It can be your daughter, son, a close relative, or trusted friend helping you with cooking, transportation, laundry, and other activities in your own home. You get the help you need, and your caregiver gets paid. Freedom Care has over 7,000 five-star Google reviews and is a leading choice in St. Louis for in-home care. If you have Medicaid and want to receive great care from a loved one, go to freedomcare.com or for faster service, call 314-597-1749. 314-597-1749. That's 314-597-1749.
Freedom Care, we're here for you.
Home Shield Foundation Repairs.com. Sinking concrete can lead to trips, falls, structural concerns. Think about that. Like you're thinking like, gosh, I got to stop stubbing my toe in this concrete. What if it is attached to some important structure in your on your property, some sort of building, garage, whatever? You have to take care of this. If it's your driveway, your sidewalk, your patio, your garage floor, it doesn't matter. If that concrete has separated and it's starting to become significantly unlevel, you need a solution for it, and you want to know your cost-effective opportunities. Home Shield Foundation Repair, that's where I want you to start your search. Give Matt Hayes the opportunity to come to your home. Give him his crew the opportunity to repair and even out that sunken concrete. And he'll tell you what he can do for you, and he'll explain exactly how polyjacking works. Way more cost effective than tearing out that concrete and replacing it with new. Just give him a call, 314-227-9636. 314-227-9636. Call my friend Matt Hayes, HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
Guys, it's time to take charge of your health with my friends at Victory Men's Health. Mark Cox here. I already love what they do at Victory. They do hormone optimization, sexual health, weight loss, even vitamin deficiencies. Now they're offering specialty cardiovascular testing and even early detection cancer screening. Visit them at one of their 4 great locations, now in Sunset Hills, Town and Country, O'Fallon, Missouri, and O'Fallon, Illinois. Tell them Mark Cox sent you. Go to VictoryMen'sHealth.com.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at LanceDruryLaw.com or call us toll-free at 888-367-6512.
How about all text? You focus on the road.
As a passenger, you have the power to prevent an accident. There are 1,000 ways to stop a distracted driver. Choose one.
A message from CTIA.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
A shooting at an Army base in Georgia. I'm Chris Foster of Fox News. An Army sergeant is in custody.
An active duty soldier assigned to Fort Stewart, Georgia, shot and wounded 5 of his fellow soldiers.
Brigadier General John Lubis says they're co-workers of the gunman, all expected to serve.